And we should be on. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chaotic Neutral Games. This is the D&D 5th edition campaign called the Benefactor. This is session 2, and after our previous session 1 episode, we had all of the characters get to know each other. We have Rodrigo, who's playing Aiden Cannell, the human blood hunter. Felicia, who's playing Glory Tezcacotl, the tiefling sorcerer. Nick, who's playing Farewell Barebones, the Genasi cleric, and Kate, who's playing Kora Yosinel, the halfling warlock, and finally Corinne, who's playing Eclipse of the Moon, the Tabaxi rogue. When we left off last time, we had the party, they haven't got a name yet, going for an interview, and the interview ended with a form of practical exam. The exam in this case was to go to a warehouse in the docks of Ostergold and find some smugglers that have been operating there at night. They think that there's between 4 and 8 of the people there, and the mission that they've been given is to kill the smugglers in the most horrific way possible, make an example of them, but keep the leader, who they believe to be a spellcaster, alive. They met the enigmatic but also rather creepy Olivia Storm, who made quite an impression on Glory, and
that's an understatement.
And they accepted that the opportunity that was being put ahead of them is too good to pass up. Renata Green and the Green Organization is known for lavishing resources and wealth upon the members of the organization and asserting a certain lifestyle on those that they consider specialists. Let's see if they succeed in their test, their interview, and see how they start with this illustrious organization. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
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 Okay, we've got everybody here at least. So, the docks of Ostergold are a bustling place. This is quite a grey city. There's, as I've said before, it's a city that doesn't sleep, but in the very worst of ways. The docks are no exception, although there are times when they are quieter. Right now in the daytime, as you're doing your stakeout, and you know that there's at least one suspect person who might be one of the smugglers keeping an eye on the place themselves, you're being jostled and interrupted by the people who go up and down the docks, plying their trade, or just trying to get from A to B. There are people coming off ships. There are merchants. There are people going past with barrows. There's people trying to sell you things. Glory's already gone to 2 or 3 places that have got beautiful cloth and accoutrement that you can add to your costume. And it's a very energetic and positive atmosphere here. I mean, there's a lot of people who have haggard looks on them. The roustabouts that take the cargo on and off the ships are looking particularly haggard. But in this part that you're looking at the moment, a part that's only really bustling during the day, it's quite quiet at night. It's been turned into a kind of makeshift dockside market. Every spare space being filled up by either people taking a rest or, setting down crates and sacks and things. Other people have put a cloth on the floor, set out their wares, and are now trying to hawk off whatever baubles or items that they are trying to sell. Occasionally scooping the whole thing up and walking around the corner when one of the city aldermen turn up and would ask them for taxes or to pay for the pitch for the day. When we left off, Kora had found the grate that goes underneath the warehouse. I described it as a form of storm grate where rainwater would sluice out of here. So it's fairly clean. It's not by any means sewage from the toilets of the city. And Kora summoned her familiar, who's currently taken the form of a scraggly black cat, into the drain itself. The drain goes on for around about 110 yards, and you find your familiar in a basin. This is kind of a a small well that is used as a junction between all the storm drains. And there's a ladder that goes up to the street level, presumably into the warehouse itself. The grate has been heavily damaged, and they could get crates and so forth in there. And you've already found evidence of crates or some kind of large object being scraped along the sides of the tunnel. There's not a great deal of water in the tunnel at the moment, and there's about maybe 2 foot, half a meter maybe, of water in this basin, this natural junction. There's also a small boat there, which is a sewerman's inspection craft, effectively. It's like this small punt that they would float along with their tools in there to stop everything getting wet, so they can inspect the tunnels under the city. The cat goes up to the ladder, and you can hear a muffled sound underneath, not underneath, above, at the top of the ladder. The cat sends back a telepathic message to Kora saying, if I want to hear more, I'll have to climb the ladder.
Okay. Yeah. Be careful.
Okay, so at this point, I would like you to, he says, looking for cats on his monster sheet. Here we go. I would like you, Kora, to roll a d20, please.
Roll well.
Roll well.
No pressure, it's just the first roll of the night.
18.
Oh, nice.
Like
That's
pure
great.
18.
Yep, no problem. And a cat has +2 dex. It is a dex type climb here, which is good because it's got -4 strength. The ladder is quite slimy. Yeah, it's a cat. The ladder is quite slimy, but the cat manages to get up the ladder, and suddenly through the familiar's ears, you can hear, how much longer? Well, we've got to wait for him to come back, haven't we? No, just stay quiet. As long as nobody doesn't hear anything outside. When he comes back, we'll be sorted. Comes back with a payment tonight, and we're sitting pretty. What do you think's in these boxes, then? Buggered if I know. Yeah, pass some more of that cheese, will you? They pass. You hear a kind of scuffling as somebody digs around in a sack, and they say, well, you know, we should take it in turns. If we're going to be here for many more days, we should take it in turns and be the person who's sat outside. I bet he's in the pub. The other one goes, if he's in the pub, he'll be lucky to survive the night. We all know that Celia's not going to take kindly to that. She'd flay him alive. Nah, I bet he's outside smoking that horrible baccy of his. God, where does he get that from? I've had cheap baccy before, but that stuff, God, smells like rolled up insects. Never mind. Could be worse. He could be in here with us smelling the place out. Nah, I'm not going to have a go at those chests. As far as I'm concerned, the pay's good enough. I don't care what's in there. They then start talking about various things, talking about some of the better brothels in the city. They start talking about what they're going to spend their money on. It's mostly based on food and alcohol and the company of women.
Am I able to see anything?
You can see light pouring through the gaps between the boards of this wooden trapdoor. You can determine from making the eyes go across the edge of one side that it's bolted from the inside.
Oh, right. So the ladder leads to a trapdoor and
Yeah.
the cat can't get through. I get it.
Yeah.
How many voices am I hearing? 2?
You're hearing 2 at the moment.
Okay. Okay. I relayed this to Farewell, that I'm hearing 2 voices, and they're talking about the third one outside behind us. And that someone is coming back tonight with payment. I'm going to listen for just a little bit more to see if I can hear any other voices more than two.
No, you listened for another 5 minutes. Just sat there stood there looking into the water. Farewell has sat down at this point and is catching up with some of the short notes that he had in his book and is fleshing them out a bit, trying to write down things that he needs to remember. Whilst you're listening, and it's most... Yeah, can you try and...
Sorry.
Yeah, can you try and mute it when you're doing that?
Yeah.
Sorry, Corinne's got a bit of a cough and it can get worse throughout the night. Whilst you're doing that, they're just talking about things like gladiatorial combat. Turns out that they're quite well travelled. They are seaborne smugglers, and they are talking about whether or not they want to take a job going to the country of Khantoum, because the Honour Road, which is a set of gladiatorial games, is due to start up in 4 months' time, and they're wondering whether they should just kind of take job upon job upon job and kind of creep towards Khantoum so that they've got quite a bit of money to go and enjoy all the blood sports that go on there. During that time, a fairly young woman, I'd say she's probably late 20s, walks up to Farewell. So Nick, she's wearing what would be the more colourful clothing of a Romany nation, to use a real-world example. And so very much this bright traveller's clothes, a lot of hand-embroidered parts all over her shoulders, and a kind of small cape that's on her back. She stands around about 6'2", and has soft features, a kind of light brown hair that falls ringlets around her shoulders. She's quite tall, as I say, and although for me 6'2" is tall, for some people it's not. And she walks up to you with a basket, and the basket has a cloth covering most of the contents. And inside, but some of the ones that are shown are nice-smelling spices, a thing called a pomander, which is lavender and other such dried flowers like a potpourri, that's placed into a type of pillow. And you put this into your chests, your clothing chest and things like that, so that everything inside smells nice. Some people would just hang them up in the room to smell for things that smell nice. And she walks up to you and she says, Dusk Mother's blessing upon you, father of the Raven Queen, I believe.
Yes.
Well, I myself am a practitioner of the faith. I, of course, serve the Night Mother Sahani. Now, you know Sahani is the goddess of the moon. She's also a goddess of a number of different things. So she's a goddess of midwives, lovers, tricksters, but good-natured tricksters. It's about entertainment and being a little bit sly, a little bit cocky. Life's chances. She's got tie-ins with Evandra in that sense, although she has the more kind of playful aspect, whereas Evandra has more of the epic hero and adventure aspect of it all. And you know that there aren't many churches to Sahani in South Vardencourt. Never mind Ostergold. Ostergold hasn't got one, but the whole of South Vardencourt hasn't got a Sahani church. But they are everywhere, in the same way that the Raven Queen's everywhere. Even if there isn't a Raven Queen church, there will be practitioners of the Raven Queen in every city in the world, because you'll always need somebody to wash the dead, to inter them. Similarly, a lot of the Sahani clerics double up as midwives and healers, just general lay healers, herbalists and so forth. And she says, spending the day with your beloved, kind of gesturing towards Kora. She's clearly got the wrong end of the stick.
Farewell will probably go bright red from the suggestion that Kora is more than just his friend. But
I'm terribly sorry. It's just, you know.
Does Farewell move at all? Because I have my hand on his leg, on his knee.
He will shift perhaps uncomfortably, but he will deliberately not move because he's actually, waiting for instruction, and he's been dutifully relaying stuff. So he's a little bit worried about spooking anybody. So he's definitely shifting uncomfortably, but he won't move huge amount.
Okay, if I sense this, because I put my hand on his leg so that I can judge whether or not something's happening. So if I Simon, if you think I would notice this shift as being a potential something's happening, like just the fact that he's moving, I think I would snap out of.
I'm going to say that it feels like he's just shifting his weight slightly because he's been sat there for a little while. It doesn't, because he said he was moving, but not that much. So it just feels like he's just shifting his weight. So you feel fine, and this is you feel that everything's fine. He hasn't just suddenly pulled away dramatically or anything, and he hasn't flinched. So as far as you're concerned, you're still good, and you're still hearing about the two guys wanting to go to Khartoum, and. Yeah. She says, "Oh well, I was going to offer love charms. It's what I do here on the dock, mostly for loved ones who are going away. So somebody who's leaving a loved one behind because they have to go to sea. I have various charms and things that will just connect them in a way. It's not a solid connection. You can't talk to each other, and you can't exactly kind of meet in dreams, although those types of things do exist, and they do exist through the some of my brethren. But these, you can just feel if they're okay and that they're alive, and it's just a great comfort to them. But if you're just good friends, and she does see kind of Kora's hand on your leg, kind of a little confused as to what's going on, then
Good sister. I'm sorry. You'll forgive me. I was a little lost in my work. I'll be honest. Your charms will be perhaps a bit wasted on me and my friend here, but there is a group of us who just look like me in Freetown. Perhaps if you ever find yourself there, tell them that Farewell sent you, and I am sure one or two of them would welcome your blessing.
I haven't paid my respects to the Raven Queen in quite some time. Yes, I think after I've done another circuit of the promenade, which is the big road that goes along the docks, I'll head over there. I should imagine there's a lot of people in Freetown who would like such things as well. And she says, "Well, I'll bid you good day, sir, and ladies' blessings upon you, and may the Raven Queen see you to your faith." And she steps away.
Watch over you.
She bows her head, walks off, and as she turns her back, you do notice that there's this figure that's embroidered in silver thread on her scarf, on her neck scarf, which is kind of like a neckerchief at the back. It goes down as a point, and it is an outline of what is effectively just a generic sacred feminine figure. She has her arms open wide, reaching up to the sky, her head tipped back, and there's the moon directly above her, which seems to be made in tiny little kind of pearl-like sequins on it as well. The effect is actually quite beautiful. And you're there thinking, yeah, this Raven Queen symbol got stamped onto this tabard, and kind of wondering why that kind of embroidery, that kind of stitching, and that kind of reverement isn't done in the Raven Queen's temple. And it suddenly hits you, hang on, this gets splattered with blood and undead embalming fluid and things like that. Yeah, that's why. It is kind of a makeshift apron as well. You can just throw it away. So she walks off.
Once she's shuffled off, I'll go, Kora, you almost done? We're beginning to attract attention.
Kora can't hear a thing.
People are getting the wrong idea.
Kora can't hear a thing, and you know this, so I'll say that you probably.
Oh yeah.
You probably didn't do that. You know that she can't hear a damn thing. Yeah. So if you tap her hand, if you choose to, Kate, you've heard all of this now, and you come to at the edge of the dock.
Yep.
Okay. So, Aiden and Glory, what are you doing during this time?
Oh,
That's a good question, because that is a while, wasn't it?
yeah.
It was probably about no less than 10 minutes. Sorry, no more than 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll probably just be flickering through the crowd, like surveying everyone, chatting up people I like recognize.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Generally seeing if there's any good gossip going around.
Sure. You've got a good enough background to do this, so what I would like you to do is do me a... I'll go with a perception check, followed by a charisma check
Yeah, I'll have
with
to roll for a
proficiency.
d20, so you should see perception. Okay, so I got 13.
13. Okay, yeah, you scan the crowd. It is difficult. It is a difficult crowd to scan through. You don't spot anything that sticks out to cause you concern. But what you do find is that there are some people that you know that are passing by. Do me a charisma check with proficiency.
Yes. Is that just the modifier, or
So
modifier and then proficiency,
modifier
right?
plus 2.
Yeah, we're up to 20.
20. Good. So yeah, you are you're looking at the hoi polloi going past, including some of the wealthy merchants, some of the socialites and things, and you do pick out one or two people. So you have picked out a carter. Okay, so this guy has he's not just a carter in terms that he drives a cart. He has a carting business, so he accepts. Excuse me a second. I need to just update my Roll20. So yeah, he has a fleet of carts that go out to the outlying villages with produce that he picks up here in Ostergold, and specifically from the docks. So he takes out the middleman, he buys, he sticks it on carts, he sends it out, they sell, they take their cut, and they bring him back the remaining gold. And he's currently kind of ambling up and down the docks. He's just deciding what he wants to put onto the cart. And mostly now you have a feeling that by this time in the day, he's got things like grain and larger items, stock items, and he's looking for the little kind of what's the word? The knickknacks, yeah, the interesting items, the things that people will buy for themselves in the poorer villages for something to cheer them up. So it would be carvings and embroidered items and painted items and small toys and things like that. So he's currently picking up a selection of carved wooden horses that have that have been painted in different colours, and they're all dressed up effectively to be racing horses. And then he pulls like a mat that seems to be a racing track, and he looks at it, smiles, and starts negotiating a price. You know, this guy's pretty what's the word? He's pretty well known around here, but also he's pretty savvy. So he knows where the money is, the local money is. He knows the change in ownership of buildings and things like that. It makes it his business to be able to do this. The other person that you know is a socialite. Her name is Asta, and she is a tiefling just like you, except she has a bright white skin, so she's absolutely bleach white skin. and she's got bright red eyes, and she's got black horns that come out to the top of her head. She is very, very charming as a person, but her appearance, because of as I say, this snow white skin, some people just can't get on with the aesthetic, even though she manages to dress to complement it. And she uses her noticeability, let's call it, as a way of making her way through social circles. She's one of those people who makes her business of just being known, and she deals in gossip, and she runs social events, soirees, things like that, at a, I'd say, upper middle class level in the merchant's quarter. And she connects people, and she gets given gifts. She's kind of a hostess, and she's a good source of gossip. Would you like to approach any of those two?
Yeah. I think I'd like to approach the guy, because I know he knows this area specifically really, really well.
Absolutely.
Like you said, he keeps himself up with it.
Sure, no problem. So the guy who the carter's name is Ector, okay, and he's Ector Ross. And as you walk up to him, you can hear him saying, "Well, yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, if you can get more of these in, I mean, I won't be able to sell them all that regularly, but as soon as you've got a whole set." So let's get this right. It's 8 horses and the track, and there's some of them dice there as well. So it's clay dice, is that? Yeah, okay. No, sure, yeah. I mean, if you've got one here while you're passing, when I'm passing, and I've sold the previous one, I'll put it on another one of the carts. Why not? Yeah, it's a nice little set, that. He'll have to make the rounds, go to one set of villages, then another set of villages, but I'm sure somebody will pick it up. What kind of price would you like for that? Really? Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that kind of thing. He's really quite an amicable guy. You know that he's just paid slightly over what the item is worth. You have a feeling he likes the talent of the person who did it, so he's kind of overpaying at the moment to try and get them as a preferred supplier. And just as he's doing that, he's bundling it into a bag, and he says, "Yeah, I'll find a box for that. Actually, if I was to bring you a box, could you paint it?" And the halfling guy who's got this little spread goes, "Yeah, sure, I'll paint it up for you. I mean, that would have to be an extra." He said, "Another couple of copper?" Yeah. It's all about presentation, mate. Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, hello, Glory. How's it going, love?
I am doing great. How are you? I see you found something really interesting today.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Take a look at some of this stuff. Mostly painted items. You got painted stone, painted clay, but some lovely effects going on there. It's got some sparkly paint there. He puts little metal shards in it. Have a look at that. It's got like sparkly. What did you call them again? Coasters. Yeah, I've never used a coaster. It's. I doubt anybody in the villages would use them, but it'd be useful in the city. It's always out for new talent. You know how it is. Anyway, what kind of business are you into at the moment?
Oh, I recently came into a new job, so to say.
Oh, fantastic.
Miss Green, of all people.
He visibly changes. Oh, right. I didn't know you were going to muck him with that lot. Or is it just a one-off
Neither
job?
did I, but it sounded pretty interesting, so I'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I've been told she makes things interesting. Okay.
You know that. And I do love it when there's some action involved. It gets dreadful otherwise.
Yeah. I must admit, I'll be honest with you.
How's the wife?
She's doing well. But I must admit,
continue.
I prefer it when your action comes from some of your, well, let's say, wine-fueled misadventures. I have
True.
Yeah. Be careful. Yeah. She's all right. Is Green. I've heard a lot of good things from some of her friends, but if she's going for somebody that And he stops and he kind of rasps his fingers across his stubble for a second. Yeah, if she's getting somebody of your talents, powers come easy to you. Well, the arcane kind. Yeah, she might have interesting times ahead of you. Anyway, what are you up to at the moment? What are you actually doing for her?
Well, there's apparently this warehouse around here we need to take a look at. You don't happen to have known anything interesting?
Yeah.
Well, go on.
Like, subtlety is not my thing. Like, you don't happen to know anything interesting that goes around here recently?
All I know is that warehouse has a new occupant every few weeks.
Oh?
Yeah, I don't know how she does it. That's not how business normally works. I mean, okay, if it was one of the smaller lockups, yeah, somebody comes in, they chuck some stuff in there, it's kept nice and secure, but it's a decent-sized warehouse, that thing. You'd think that she'd have some sort of regular cash coming in, not that she needs it, but it's just odd, you know? And they're never locals, you know? It's always people from outside of the town, you know? It's people who turn up on a boat, stick some stuff in. It's there for, as I say, a couple of days, couple of weeks, whatever. And then all of a sudden, either the same ship or a different ship turns up and off they go again. Bye-bye. Who are they? No one knows. No one cares. It's not how business is usually done around here. You know that as well as anybody. Everybody, you know, collects names. They collect faces and favours. Yeah? Not this lot. No, they turn up. They don't speak to anybody. A few weeks back actually, it was probably about 6 or 7 weeks back, there was a ship that went up right against that dock there, and he points over towards Kora and Farewell. Turned up. They shoved some stuff in the warehouse, yeah. And the second that they finished, it was everybody back on shore on board the ship, and the ship was a long hauler as well. It was, you know, full sail, yeah, 3 masts. Yeah, obviously gone a long way. Can go a long way very fast. And that the guys take the stuff off the ship, put it in that warehouse, went back on the ship, no shore leave for anyone, right? And then about 4 or 5 days later, they leave. Another ship, again, 3 masts, big old ship, turns up. Everybody off, get the items, put them on the ship. No shore leave. They left that day. They were in the dock for like 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, enough time to pay the harbour master, keep everything kosher, and off they were again. Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
You know how it is around here. Love everybody watches everybody. Just be careful. Yeah, I know you can't turn a corner around here without stepping on something dirty. And if she's running the shop as she is, then, you know, she's obviously up to her neck in it, yeah? She obviously knows how to swim in shit, but be careful, yeah? That's all I'm saying, okay? Just make sure you're ready to say no. Got it?
Well, of course. Thank you for the warning, by the way. I hadn't heard too much about her before this.
No problem, love. And mum's the
out.
word, yeah. I'm not gonna say much about this. Ordinarily, this would be good goss, but well, frankly, I don't want Miss Green sending one of her friends to tell me that I've been a gossip. Could even send you. That'd be a scary thought. Anyway, I got to be off now. I'll see you later. And he cuts quite a hasty retreat. Back at
and they're like, well, where are the other guys?
So, what's Aiden and Eclipse doing?
Eclipse would just... Well, Aiden can go first. Go on, Rodrigo.
No, I'm not doing anything special, honestly. Like, I'm just like waiting on what like Farewell and Kora will
Sure.
waiting
They-
for them to finish what they're doing. And like I just saw Glory went off to God knows where, and I'm like, okay,
She's just talking to a
Uh,
guy about some shiny stuff, so yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just there, and I'm trying to keep an eye out on things, like I'm just scanning the crowd and stuff like that. But I don't know if it's like I'm not really focusing on anything. I'm just like, see if like anything in particular shows up, and if it doesn't, I'm just like playing with a silver piece. You know,
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
not doing
Dropping it on the
much.
floor.
In that case,
Hopefully
we'll,
not.
In that case, we'll say that
But
you
yeah,
guys have
I'm
gathered
just-
what you need to, if that's okay. So you've already gone around the building. You know that it's got a really thick wall. It's got a really complicated door. Eclipse found that out before, and that if you wanted to get in through a means other than the trapdoor, you're probably looking at the roof. And so unless there's anything else you want to check, you guys can get back together and make your plans.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Eclipse have probably just kind of wandered around a bit and, well, still looking like a human and just kind of looked around, but it's probably not much interesting to see around here. Just wander around a bit by the dock. But then she'd gone back. Again, not much to see at the moment.
Okay. Farewell, shall we make a move and tell the others what we found?
Yeah, I think so. Do you think we should, I don't know, go in there, kill these ones and wait? Or is that a little bloodthirsty?
That was kind of my thinking before I knew there were people in there, but even then, I think that might be an idea. But let's go talk to the others, okay?
Okay.
So you guys get back together, and I presume that you convene in some alleyway or one of Kora's hiding spaces, or even a tavern.
Yeah,
How
somewhere
close
where
is the tavern?
Okay.
How close is the tavern?
there are many taverns. I think the
Yeah.
one that we were in is quite far away. The one I think there's probably like some simpler ones closer.
Yeah. We're in the docks, and sailors are a thing, so I think there will be a lot of places to drink around.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think we find a tavern.
Right on.
I don't
Okay.
think talking in an alleyway is going to get us any good attention. So let's go somewhere where everyone
I
else
mean-
is talking.
Okay.
As far as I know, nothing good happens in an alleyway. So
No.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Voice of
Okay,
experience.
there's a story, but let's save that one.
Yeah, Farewell will very quickly now shuffle off to try and find the closest tavern. As he realizes he said that out loud.
Kora really feels like there's a story about him having a secret kiss with someone or something.
Yeah. Eclipse thinks something similar, but probably less innocent than a kiss.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
So
Fair.
anyway, come on, drinks.
Okay.
Done.
Actually, when Farewell says that, I just look at him in the eye, fucking expressionless, and I give him a thumbs up, like, yeah, sure, okay, let's just find a tavern.
Okay. You guys find yourself in
Yeah.
the Raw Anchor.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Yeah, and it's got a it's named after this huge anchor that's set into the building itself, almost like a giant has kind of thrown it and smashed it into the wall, which is now pitted with rust and age. It's been there for quite some time. It's quite an old building, and you walk into the tavern and you can actually see one of the spikes of the anchor goes through the wall and into the tavern itself. You go in there, you grab some drinks, and find a nice little nook to sit down in. So go ahead, make your plan.
Are we in a quiet corner?
You
Somewhere
are.
where people can't overhear?
Yeah, you found one of
Even-
those nooks. Yeah.
Okay.
Even if the corner wasn't quiet, I think they like the noise would drown our planning out.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Really how it is with pubs.
Yeah.
Kora is gonna relay to everyone what she found out about the two people inside the warehouse. As far as she knows, she couldn't see. And they mentioned the person standing outside, and they mentioned someone coming tonight to make a payment. Did they mention? I missed this slightly, Simon. Did they mention that it was a he or a she coming?
You heard
A scary lady, if I remember correctly.
you heard the word Salura, and you did hear the pronoun she.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So there's sorry, I'm sick, so I can't do my accent. So you have to deal with me not doing a terrible
Okay.
accent.
oh, that's fine.
We can't
That's
do our
fine.
accents either.
I was about- we will be doing different accents every single session.
Today I am going to be Russian. Tomorrow French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eclipse turns around. So there's she coming over, not. So there's a lady that we have to capture, or is that this the lady bastard we need to capture, or is that someone else that's coming around?
That's a very good question. They mentioned the person coming tonight was making the payment. So it feels like that's not the same person as the one who's doing the deal. But I might be wrong.
The only
twist
lead
is
we
Renata.
have.
I did find out
The-
something juicy you might be interested in then. Cause
I'm not interested.
Okay, go on.
Is it to do with the mission?
Okay,
Yes!
that's better.
Men. Well, this is not a new operation.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
It's been going on for weeks and weeks. They come one day, load things off, disappear, and then someone else will come and pick it up. Or sometimes the same ship.
So the smuggling has been
The
going on for a while.
Yeah. And if it's been going on for that long, I'm more curious about who's running it.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean, you'd think that Miss Green would totally be straight on top of it if they were doing stuff. Surely
My
she'd
mo-
know about
my
it if
money
it's
is
been
on-
going on for weeks.
My money's on that Renata is running it.
Well, maybe that's
well,
the
that
test.
would be quite the
Actually,
intrigue.
didn't Creepy Woman say that we weren't supposed to touch cargo?
Yep.
Or we weren't touch anything inside the warehouse. Maybe it has to do with that. I mean, the warehouse,
True.
it's crazy, sealed off.
Maybe.
Yep.
So maybe these are two separate things, because she said something was happening and that she was moving stuff around, and that we had to not touch anything, like you say. Otherwise, she would have to wait to use us again or something. And then, but maybe
She
someone
didn't want
else
the
is also
fingerprints.
using the place.
Fingerprints.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I'm planning to wear gloves.
Yeah. She
an
didn't want
idea.
the fingerprints on the things. No, now she did not count on, I pick up with my invisible mage hand a drink and kind of shake it around and put it back down. That kind of stuff. But, still, I think she will notice. I don't know. If she's familiar with it enough, she'll know if we moved it around. But
I
think
mean, with
as
that
much as
amount
possible,
of
let's
people
not
running
touch
around.
anything except the people.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, I just want to get paid, so just do the job and do it well.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that. I mean, I remember Kora, you said that you couldn't. Your familiar. I'm going to say your pet. Your pet couldn't get through the trapdoor because it was bolted on the other side. Could your Eclipse? Could your hand undo that?
Maybe. I can certainly try.
DM says yes.
I can actually use as a arcane trickster. I can actually use my thieves' tools with my mage hand. So,
Cool.
Corinne,
I'm
something like
thinking
this
that-
you would be able to do that. So I said that there was lights coming through the trapdoor, and also because it basically had light coming through and then what was clearly a bar making a shadow. You feel that unless they put a padlock on the other side, you can just pull that thing back with your
mage hand.
mage hand. There's at this point, I will allow Kora, being that you're now thinking about it. I would like Kora to make an intelligence check.
Oh dear. I'm not very intelligent. Hold on.
It's not.
Oh,
It's not a
God.
high DC.
I rolled a 5. Hold on.
Oh no.
I have nothing to add to it.
You better have a +5 in intelligence.
Oh no, I don't. My intelligence is 0 modifier. I
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Low intelligence.
What was I
yeah.
trying to think about? Am I distracted?
Something was trying to occur to you about what you were seeing when you saw the lights coming through the grates. Just, was there anything else you picked up on? And the only thing you picked up on a 5 is that the trapdoor. Oh, sorry, I said grate. It isn't a grate. It's a trapdoor. The trapdoor seems to be next to some form of wall or something like that. So the shadow is obscured on one side. I won't give you any more than that. You need a DC 10 for the other thing.
Okay. I do have a question actually, Simon.
Mhm.
Do I, and maybe this needs a roll. From what I was hearing or how I was hearing it, how do I know if the people are sitting quite close to that trapdoor or far away?
That was what you were actually rolling for.
Oh, damn.
What I will give you, because it doesn't require a roll, is that if you manage to get into that sewer and you stand at the bottom of that ladder, you will be able to dismiss your familiar and resummon them up top to see into the room.
Yeah. I'm thinking now whether or not we could open that trapdoor without them seeing, but we don't know yet. We'll have to figure that out.
It would be a form of... There'd be dice rolls, obviously, and if it's your rogue using mage hand, you're pretty sure that you're not going to be terrible at it. But then it would be a case of sliding the bolt back, opening the door, hoping that they're not right next to it, opening the door in such a way that it's really quiet, and then you guys kind of skittering up the ladder as quietly as possible.
So,
Anyone
mean-
can pass without trays.
I think we should kill them, wait, and then when the others come to pay them tonight, they walk straight into an ambush.
that's
I
kind of
think
my
that's a
same
good idea.
thinking.
I think that's
Like fun.
Because
What's the word for it?
they've got to come up that one ladder, and we can just take them there.
yeah. No,
True.
that sounds like a good
Although we
idea.
have to
And
be
we
careful that none of them escape, remember. But yes, can anyone, like, I mean, well, I was about to ask a stupid question because you were doing it earlier. In fact, maybe you're still doing it. I'm not sure. Disguising themselves, so like disguising themselves as the people we hopefully take out,
oh yeah, so disguise.
so that we can let the guys in, kind of trap them in there, and then, because if we try and attack them as they come up the ladder, then one of them might escape, and then we might get ourselves screwed.
I have one disguise stuff left. Well, I'm currently disguised still because it hasn't been an hour yet. but yeah, I can. But it's only me, and it depends. Can you disguise yourself, Kora?
No. Well, actually, can I?
Do you have the Eldritch invocation called Mask of Many Faces?
That's if Kora. Does
That
Kora
one
have
I
that one?
picked,
Or
though.
which Eldritch invocations did you pick?
I don't know. I thought I had a list. I do have a list. Hold on. Give me a second. Mm. So many things. Yes. Okay. I think I'm going to take the Mask of Many Faces, so I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can be disguised, and the others can be hiding
Sure.
behind a crate or something.
I mean, what I could do is once we have the room, I could, as the trapdoor opens, I'll put my silence on top of it, and they'll walk into a bubble of just void, and they will not be able to call out, and you guys can go to work.
yeah.
Remember that we still need to catch whoever's leading the operation. Apparently, it's a spellcaster, if I remember correctly. We need
But
still need to be
Yes.
mindful of that.
The
Possibly.
silence is good for him, because casting spells when you're silent is difficult, I think. Which spells can I
Fair.
cast when I am silenced? I think I am basically limited to Mage Hand.
It's
Let's see.
I'm going to assume I would know this from experience based on what we talked about in session 1. So it will be somatic. Anything that is purely somatic.
Somatic.
Or,
somatic.
Also,
Somatic
Somatic
is
material.
so it's the anything that has a V on it, vocal.
A V.
So
Okay.
yeah, so
Voice. Right.
yeah, somatic is moving your hands. Yeah, it's movement based. So there are three components, which is normally V, S, and M. So M is material, S is somatic, that means gestures, and V is vocal. So what it is anything that has that V on it gets cancelled in a zone of silence.
I can. The
Yeah.
only spells I will be able
It
to
gets
cast.
cancelled. Doesn't get cancelled as it. Does it get cancelled as it enters? Like, can you stand outside and cast it outside to someone inside?
Yes,
Yes.
you can.
Yes.
Yeah. You yourself, as part of the process of doing the spell, you have to be able to make sound. So if you're outside the zone of silence, you are able to say the magic words or whatever.
Okay.
So the two spells that I can cast in a zone of silence is Minor Illusion and Friends.
Yeah,
Mage
I
Hand
can't
is
cast
apparently
very
has a
many.
verbal component.
Wow.
Farewell. Remind me how long that lasts.
10 minutes.
Okay. And how many times do you think you can use it?
Completely out of character. Yes, twice. Yeah, well, a couple of times.
Well, the reason I'm saying this is because, okay, if we want to take out the two guys that are inside the warehouse right now, we probably ought to leave the lookout. Otherwise, the other guys are going to get suspicious. So we need to do that assassination incredibly quietly. Otherwise, the lookout is going to know. So that's, and I don't know if the lookout changes. We don't know that. They were talking about him, but I don't think they ever said that he should, swap with them or anything. That's the worry, is that we need to leave a lookout unless someone takes out the lookout and disguises themselves as the lookout.
Well, what I can do, because I don't know if they're expecting anyone in particular. Maybe they like one of us can pretend to be a new recruit and just kind of get their names, so we at least can pretend to be the ones that have their names. So if the other guy comes down, that at least Kora, who little tiny bit of metagame who doesn't use spell slots for disguise self can pretend to be whatever person and then go and like say, oh, Bob went out for a cup of tea or whatever.
DM, did I hear any names when they were talking?
No, they didn't need to refer to each other by name. The only name you heard is Solari.
Stolari. Is that the female that's turning up?
That's the female that's turned up.
Ah, Stolari.
Hang on, is it Solari?
Celery.
Celery.
Yeah, celery.
All right. How much time do we have? Like, what time is it?
Hours and hours.
Okay.
For those of you who want to spell it on your notes, it's Saluri. Saluri.
S-A-L-U-R. What? Say that again. I'm sorry.
Salary.
Saluri.
Thank you. I don't know. Do we go scout some more? Do we go creep into the warehouse and
Let's just
try
go
and
and
hide and listen for more, or do some? It's so hard to know.
DM, I've got a question for you, if I may.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
He's gone.
he's gone.
Simon.
We're
Simon.
free.
Hang on a sec.
Alone. Sandbox.
Free. We can do what we want. We win.
Can you hear me now?
Renata.
Can you hear me now?
TPK.
TPK.
Yeah,
TPK.
couple of sessions later. No. What I wanted to check was.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's what I needed. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So my question is that well, two really. Is one, would I'm assuming Farewell his armor and that he would know that he's used to wearing. It's something he's had for a while. Does he think he could confidently swim wearing his armor? I appreciate that there will be ability checks and that sort of stuff there, but he's not a weak boy. He's a pretty big, strong boy. So I figured that he'll be able to sort of at least swim a little bit with it on.
What's your armor and what's your strength score?
Sorry, my armor is breastplate, and my strength score is 16.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Not a problem.
Yeah, like I said, he's a big, strong boy. So
Water person, right? So
yeah, and I have the advantage of that. Even if I wasn't, I can breathe underwater anyway, so he could probably walk across the water.
Yeah, just walk.
You just walk into the water in there. And when Kora was explaining to me, well, to Farewell, how to get into the storm grate, was there a sort of a secluded area that we could go through to get round and in through that gap? And sort of, do we have any indication about how far up we would perhaps have to go to get into that storm drain? I'm just trying to think, would it be easy for basically Farewell to swim and potentially assist Kora into that storm grate through the water and get her in there so she can do what she suggested about summoning her familiar inside so we can get a better look around?
Give me a nature check. I'll accept survival as well.
Sorry, it's survival or...
Nature. Survival or nature check.
Okay, I'm going to go with, looking at my character sheet, survival because I have proficiency in that.
Go for it.
Go for that.
So that's that's a natural 15, and so that's plus 6, so 21.
Yeah. I should have really given this to you, being that you're a water genocide. Yeah, come high tide, that grate will be half full of water. You could just swim in.
Is the grate wide enough for us to get in? Do we have to open the grate?
Well, as I described before, it's been damaged to the point where you can actually get a crate in it.
Oh, I see. It's sorry. I thought it was damaged, like there was a screw missing. You had to lift
No,
but it's
no.
actually damaged wide enough for.
Oh yeah, the
people in
bars are
crates.
bent to hell. Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah, it's got a 5
Cool.
foot square opening basically.
Amazing. Okay.
Wow.
So, fine.
Okay, so we're all going there now. Or-
I'll sort of convey this to everybody else just to speed things up a little bit so that we don't spend another 3 hours planning. That I would suggest that we ferry people in. We let our 2 experts have a look at the way in and what's in there, and then if we think it's
Can I throw a spanner in the
good,
works, please?
Yeah.
The spanner is that you know that high tide isn't until 7 p.m.
Ah.
Which, okay,
So
When
current-
it's still not going to be it's still not going to be dusk, being that it's summer. But yeah, you're either you're going to be going in there a little bit later, or you're going to be finding another way in. Now, there's to get down to that grate, you can either use a rope to climb down from on top, but then you need an excuse to do so, or you'd need. I'd say you could probably get like a rowboat or something like that and go up to the grate, and you'd be able to easily climb in. If you wanted to go in the daytime.
Well, I was gonna suggest what I can, because I'm at the back seat and I got a climb speed. I'm just gonna climb down to the grate, tie a rope, and throw that down so people can climb up the rope.
You could do that.
If that's all right.
That works.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
To the roof. Go in through the
To the grate, so we
Oh.
can go in through there.
Okay.
So I tie a rope to the grate because that will there's still steel bars, and essentially, and you guys can climb up because I can climb on the wall because I got a climb speed. So
Next
And
problem.
how?
The next problem that
low
you're
do
going to
we
have
think-
is that it is daytime, and as I described
Yeah.
before, there was a little girl looking into the water. She's not the only one. So if you're going to be
Many
doing that,
people.
you've got to be somehow not looking suspicious.
Okay, I feel like
Oh,
I
I have a
feel-
question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that that if I was standing next to the warehouse, I could flash my familiar inside, or do I need to see the space, right? It doesn't have. It's not just a distance thing.
You can, if you go up to a door, and you can, as long as you know there's something on the other side, you can flash them through a door. This would probably be kind of one of these corny bending over to tie your shoelace, although I just realised you're a halfling, so this is probably less of a problem for you. Looking through the keyhole, seeing something through the keyhole, and then pushing for your familiar to just appear there.
Right. That's gonna look pretty suspicious, though.
yeah, I'm gonna
Guy.
say maybe
Yeah.
shouldn't we wait until nighttime? I think it
Well.
would be better to we wait until
I was gonna
nighttime.
say, what will we do about the lookout who's sitting outside?
Well, I would.
No.
You are very distracting at times, Glory.
just distract them.
I mean, we could
Guy.
spend some more time just hanging around and scout out if that lookout changes. We have a lot of hours.
Set him on
Yeah.
fire? Does that work? Solution?
Sorry, say it again.
I said I can't set him on fire. That could work, right?
I think that will draw a lot of attention,
No.
which is not what we want.
Well,
But, you know, thanks for the thought.
I mean, good thought, but no.
mm, she's just not so long.
What time is it now, Dim?
By about now, it's around about just after lunch. You guys have grabbed a bit of food and things as well, so
Okay,
I'd say it's
yeah,
probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
I still think we should probably wait until the sun goes down. Right now, too many people. We'll
Yeah.
have to. Yeah.
I think, yeah, I kind of agree, but I also think we want to get in there as soon as, so that we can be there to try and ambush when people turn up,
Yeah.
and so that we're not surprised and get there and there's like 7 people we have to deal with while we try and
Yeah,
climb individually out of a trapdoor.
I know. I'm not saying we should do this like in the middle of the
Sure.
of the night, but doing it during daytime is probably way
dangerous.
too
It's
hard. Yeah.
Too obvious. But I think we can just, like, if we find a place to sort of like chill or just keep walking around, like there's people all over the place. So if some of us just keep an eye on that lookout, just try and sort of see what they do, if they take a break at any time, if they walk away, if they swap with one of the guys inside the warehouse and how they get in and that sort of thing.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
who
what
has
else are we gonna do for the next
perception?
7 hours?
Okay, so you guys are going to stake out the Watcher, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Watcher and the door, and and maybe if someone has eyes like around the water of where the crate
Yeah,
is, in case they see ripples as if someone's come out that way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel just staking out the general like warehouse
Yeah.
because there's too many things we're gonna keep an eye on.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it. Let's do some rolls. So first of all, I want to know who is watching the lookout.
Who has the
I can
highest
take it.
perception?
I will.
Okay.
Alright, farewell.
Yeah.
Well.
Only because I've got expertise in this. I'm very good at watching.
Okay. Is
You got
anybody
good eyes.
A fair thing.
joining Farewell?
In watching the lookout.
Yep. You can have more
I
than one
won't.
person on each task.
I
can
will
help.
not join Farewell because otherwise we will be a beacon of look, that's a tabaxi and a
Yeah, I will do that because people have seen us together already today.
Sure,
Yeah.
you're going to keep the narrative. That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
My poor green boy is so blushing.
for in that case, let's
Yeah,
start off
plus
with
I
you
like
guys.
it when people think we're a couple because it makes them so uncomfortable.
That's so mean. I love it.
I'm going to do my roll now.
Okay, so
Sorry, is that roll at advantage because I've got assistance, or is it just a straight roll?
well, there's 2 sets of roles here. So first of all, I would like you to indeed make a. Let's go with a. What do I want? I would like an insight check with advantage, please.
Certainly.
An insight.
Ooh.
Oh.
I rolled a 15 and a 17, so I'll take the 17, and I have a +6 to my insight.
Ooh,
So that's
nice.
23.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you notice that he's bored. He really didn't want this detail. He seemed to be enjoying having his smoke before, but now even that's lost its shine. He's still lighting up every now and again. And, there's a couple of times where he gets up from the bollard that he's kind of leaning against and kind of brushes his trousers, but you have a feeling that he's been sat there for quite some time, that he's actually trying to get the blood to get back running through his bum. And then he kind of stamps his feet a little bit, then leans against it again, paces back and forward a little bit. You can tell he's getting agitated. And you realise that you and Kora have to kind of play the part as well. So you start talking to each other as well, because he does glance over in your direction a couple of times, being that you don't really have anything. You're not selling anything. You're not buying anything. You're just stood around as well. And he's clearly trying to suss you out. So I would
'cause he
like...
saw us earlier.
Yeah, I would like for you and Kora individually to make deception checks.
Oh no.
Again, I
Oh,
missed it.
no.
Sorry. What check?
Deception.
Deception, please.
You do know I have like a -2 charisma modifier, right?
Oh no, that wasn't great.
Pick your roll.
Oh gosh, only 11.
Oh,
I was
shit.
about to say, when you said that, is there anyone trading right near us, like walking past trying to trade? Because I might look like I want to try and buy something, some random shit that someone's walking past with to
Sure.
try and help with standing
That's
around.
you can buy, like, there's carts going past with things like, to use Game of Thrones, cockles and things like that. You can buy oysters, but he's doing the same thing, and he's realizing, yeah, you're just sat there eating food that comes past you, and he's kind of clocked you as if to say, what is it you do here? Now, okay,
Do we clock that he clocks us?
um, ordinarily, I was going to
we're
get a
obviously
second
looking at
roll
each
for
other.
this.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, ordinarily, I would
Would
get
you-
you guys to do
sorry,
a
do
second
you want-
roll before I let it on. I would have let this lot on to you, but as part of Farewell's very good roll before, I'm giving this all to you in character. So there's this kind of moment now where you're there kind of with some bread and cheese and an oyster, and you're looking at him, looking at you, looking at him, and there's this kind of awkwardness, kind of like, who are you?
You know what I'm gonna
Me?
do?
I'm no one. Who are you? But
I'm
you're
gonna,
all doing
I'm
it
gonna
through
look at him
eyes.
and wave and wink.
Okay.
I'm noticing that he's just looking, so I'm just gonna be like,
Hi.
hey, you're kind of cute. Like trying
Hello.
to pretend that that's the reason.
Okay.
I'm going to give
I
you a
haven't done
fluster
my
check.
roll yet.
I'm going to give you a. No, it's okay. He's bought you. He knows that you're here. In that case, Kora, I'm
Can I
going to.
put my hand on Cora's shoulder as she's doing this and just go, I hope you're guiding us well, and I'm going to cast guidance on her.
Sure. Okay. In that case, Kora, can I please have roll a d20 plus a d4, and then add your charisma modifier and proficiency, because I'm going to say that this is a part of your Fey element.
Okay. Right, noise. So a D20 and a D4.
Yeah, you get the D4 from me.
Yeah, cool.
Uh,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh no.
that doesn't sound good.
Guess what I just did?
Natural
Nat
one.
1-1.
Nat 1 on both dice.
Knew it.
Both dice.
Hey, so
Shit.
everyone, I'm really excited to hear about your next characters next week. That would be
I've
really
just
cool.
drawn a picture of my character as well. Oh, damn it.
So
there you go. I
this
am
could
not
have gone
very
one
flirty.
of two ways. Okay. I rolled a dice for him, and if you'd rolled above him, he would have misinterpreted you, thought that you were one of the ladies who comes to sell something at the docks that cannot be put on the pavement, and he would have gone at a
I
very
totally look like that.
very embarrassed all of a sudden. But unfortunately, he rolled he got a total of 18, and I don't think you come anywhere near that.
Oh,
So
Well, I got a 2 nat once. So.
yeah, so he sees you hazing him, realizing that you're hazing him, and just kind of scowls at you as if to say, "Who the fuck are you?" And he kind of looks around to see if there's any guards there, and he reaches inside his bag. He's got a kind of work bag that you saw just tucked by the side, but you didn't know it was his. He reaches down to the bag, opens it slightly, and you see the nastiest looking sword you've ever seen. This thing has barbs on it. It doesn't have a cutting edge. It's basically a saw blade about 2.5 foot long with a handle. And he opens
Getting it out in the middle of the day.
No, he's just opening the bag so you can see it
Yeah.
momentarily and shutting it again. And that, just like he's checking for something, he's not actually bringing out the weapon and brandishing it. So anybody who sees the weapon would be, bloody hell, that's a fearsome weapon, but it's still in the bag, so he wouldn't be arrested for it. And he just smiles at you as if to say, if you're here for me, I'm here for you, kind of thing. And
Right.
he isn't
I'm
doing
gonna-
much else
I'm-
at the moment.
Well, I'm gonna try and
Us notice this.
I'm gonna try and look insulted, like I'm gonna keep the ruse and
Okay.
look like, "Oh, well, and I'm gonna grab Farewell by the arm and like get the fuck out of there, kind of thing, like back towards the tavern, like, oh, well, insult me, why don't you, sort of thing. And then, but actually, I'm like, okay, we're done here. We need someone to tag us out.
And I'm gonna do that whole thing where I'm not sure that I'm supposed to actually be walking, and so like she's half dragging me, and I'm sort of like, always like half a step behind her. And I just can't quite get my legs to keep up with this.
Okay, as you're leaving, Farewell, do me a perception check.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Roll well.
Bad.
Well,
Sorry, what am I rolling for?
perception.
Right, deception. Oh right, okay. Shit, I didn't guide myself. Fuck. Okay.
Perception. Perception, not
Oh,
deception.
perception.
Yeah.
Oh right. Okay, good, because I'm good at that. He says, so I rolled a 10, but I've got a +8, so that's an 18.
Oh, that's good.
That's
Yeah,
good.
you see it.
Very rolling his special eyes.
You definitely see it. As you guys are walking away, the lookout goes up and kicks the double door going into the warehouse. The double door itself doesn't open, but you know it made a huge sound within, and he starts following you down the street.
But as he kicks the door and follows, would I have enough time, just as he passes the door, to perhaps cast Thaumaturgy and basically on the door make that kick boom again?
Yeah, I'll allow for it. So you want 2 kicks instead of 1?
Yeah, just I'm going to try and sow a bit of confusion.
Okay. Yeah. So there's no roll. What I am going to do is check on this guy. Yeah, he kicks it and it goes bang, and then a couple of seconds later, because you're quite quick on the uptake with this, because you did see him going over to do it. It goes bang back. He looks at it as if to say, "Oh, they've answered me. Okay, fine," and starts walking after you. He's got his work bag slung over his shoulder, and he starts following you down the promenade.
Do I see them start? Do I see him start following them?
Oh, absolutely, you do. Yeah, the rest of you are doing your thing, and I was going to ask what you're doing, but this is kind of whatever you were doing. This has taken priority now.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to basically, whilst I know Cora's probably got hold of my arm or hand or something, I will be led by her, because I will trust implicitly when it comes to these streets and moving. She knows where to go, so wherever she goes, I follow without question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I wanna go up basically behind him, and I'm gonna cast. Let's see, what should I do? I am gonna hold off on casting for a moment, but I'm just gonna put his hand on his shoulder. I will cast Minor Illusion in my hand and have a shiny item in it and say, "Oh, my friend, I have some very nice wares. Do you want to have a look?"
He goes to shrug you off, and he's like, "Get out of my way!" And he's starting to stride with purpose towards Kora and Farewell.
I keep going after him, and this time I will, because Minor Illusion is not concentration, I will cast Friends and him as a target and say, "Oh, but I insist. Please have a look."
He turns around and says, "What part of go away don't you get?" And he goes to, he raises his hand up in the air as if to intimidate you, as if he's about to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
And then
Simon,
did you hear the part when I said I cast Friends?
Yes, but Friends doesn't work on an aggressive person.
True.
Oops. Can I see him?
Aiden, what did you want to do?
Can I see him? That's an important thing.
Yeah, you can see him.
Okay, I'm gonna not cast, but I'm gonna use Blood Curse of Binding. He has to do a strength saving throw right now.
That's 10.
It's 12.
So he fails.
The disease 12. So he fails. His speed is reduced to 0. Like right now.
Okay, so what actually happens? Does he just get like leaden limbs or something like that?
Before the curse. I imagine he just stops moving. He can't move.
So
even if he's paralyzed. I mean, like not like like if he wants to move, like he'll just not move.
Okay, so I'm going to use immobilized as what is going on at the moment. So he's effectively restrained. Does it give a keyword, or just that its speed is 0?
I'm gonna read what it says here. As a bonus action, reduce the speed of a creature up to one size category larger than you to 0. Oh, jeez, I forgot about this. Within 30 feet.
You could have got to within 30 feet. That's easy. Yeah.
All right. If it fails a strength saving throw, DC 12, this lasts until the end of your next turn, and I can amplify it to make the speed reduction ongoing. But yeah, it doesn't say paralyzed or restrained. It just says
that's fine. He
reduced the speed to 0.
Yeah, he finds himself just unable to move, and he's starting to look a little panicked by it all.
Okay, I want to do.
Buying time for Kora and
can I
to get away.
Simon.
I was gonna.
Okay, in order.
Sorry.
Aiden, finish off. So, Rodrigo, what are you finishing off?
I imagine, like the way I imagine it is that since I got up to 30 feet of him, so I was walking towards him.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is, actually no, never mind. I didn't see the bag. Never mind. I was gonna just like take the bag off him, but I didn't know that the sword was in the bag, so never mind.
Yeah, the only two people who know about what's in the bag is Kora and Farewell. Glory, what are you doing?
When we notice that whole exchange, I start going through the crowd, like towards him. And when he stops, like suddenly because of what Aiden did.
Well, he stopped because of me, but now he can't move.
I want to like bump into him and like block his vision for a moment.
Sure.
So that he can't see where like the other two are going.
Sure. I mean, there's a crowd going on at the moment anyway. I mean, he stopped. He's been distracted by Eclipse. He's suddenly having a bit of a panic because he just realizes that he can't move. It's like one of those things he's telling his legs to move and that's just not happening. And then you come up and just kind of bump into him. And he's like, hey, watch it. And as he does that, Kate and Nick, are you both continuing to just walk away?
Can you remind us where we are at this point?
You're going down a side street, effectively.
And he's chasing after us, and then the others are all chasing him.
Yeah, so
we kind of stopped him.
Yeah, so basically what's happened is that you guys went to walk away. He started walking after you. You guys turned down a side street. He went to go as well, and just as he did that, Eclipse came in, did all her shenanigans. He went to be quite aggressive to her and went to hit her. And just to intimidate her. I mean, he wasn't actually going to land the blow. It was just one of these things of, I'll scare the stupid Tabaxi and then I'll walk off. He raised his fist, watched her flinch, and then as he went to walk away and then realized his legs won't follow his commands, then he got jostled by Glory. So if you guys are happy to just keep on going, you have a good chance of slipping into the crowd at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Unless she tells us otherwise, I'm be carrying on.
Yeah, we're trying to dart out.
Lose him.
No. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Lose him.
So I'm gonna say that it's busy enough because it's lunchtime that you guys are going to be able to slip away. There's been enough work that's been done that I'm not even going to ask for a roll. So he slips away. You guys slip away. I'm assuming you're not persisting with the curse, Aiden?
I forgot to amplify it, so no.
Okay, so all of a sudden, 6 seconds later, his legs start working again. Glory, I assume, because she just jostled him and then carried on walking, is just like, la 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 la, this was unintentional. Yep. Do me a
Oh, yeah.
Do me a deception check, Glory.
Yes.
She's actually proficient in that, so it's good. It's good.
I am not surprised.
Can you see that roll?
Oh god.
Oh god.
It's either...
We have numbers to add.
Do you have Felicia? Why don't you roll with real
7.
dice?
7.
What use dice
Okay.
roll is? Use real
No,
dice.
she's rolled the dice. So yeah, a 7.
What's your modifier on that, Felicia? Though.
But she's already said it's a 7.
Five.
She
I
rolled a 2. She got a
and my
5. It's a
modifier
7.
is 5.
So what's happened is this: is
I
that
real die.
he had a bit of a panic attack because his legs wouldn't work. He got jostled. He was like, "Hey!" And then his legs started working again. He went to follow Kora and Farewell, realized that they were lost, and suddenly just looked at Glory and went, "You." And he's striding up to Glory, and he's going to try and pin her up against the wall.
Oh no.
No.
This is not going to end well for him.
No.
Okay. If anybody would like to do anything to interrupt, you will have to do. We're not going to go into combat, but you will have to roll initiative against it.
Yeah, I will do that.
As soon as we're out of sight,
That's
I
not
want
too
to
bad.
duck around and kind of
That's a
circle around.
16.
Sure. Yep. You're going to quickly just nip around the block, so you'll be back in a turn or so's time, a couple of turns time. Cause, yeah.
Basically, even if Farewell doesn't come, I'm sort of like, I need to go back because I see.
Okay, I'll be following anyway because there's no way I'm letting
Yeah,
you guys.
I'm just not dragging you this time.
Yeah, I'm actually following.
There we go. I now have dice.
Good.
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 So that's 16 for my initiative.
Okay, so you'll get an intercept action. Aiden?
That dice is going to the dice sale. I rolled an at 1.
Okay, so you're not.
Oh,
so
man.
you don't get an interrupt action. And
In total, that would be 4. Just for the with the modifier, but it's still a nat 1.
yeah.
Dice is in this pouch. At D20 it is. 6.
A 6? No, you don't get one either. So the only person who gets to react to this guy going up, and he's going to try to pin Glory up against the wall, is Eclipse.
So Eclipse, seeing that he's going after, well, her associate friend, I don't know, but associate, basically does what he was gonna do against. So she brings out her dagger and kind of pushes him against the wall with the dagger on his throat and saying, "I wouldn't do that if I were you."
Okay. Do me a.
That's a power move.
Do you want me to do an attack roll, or?
I want you to do 2 things. I want you to do a stealth roll, and also a sleight of hand roll.
Yeah, I can do both of those. So stealth. I'm gonna roll with my good dice. What's my good dice?
Do you have any good dice?
I have dice I trust more.
And
The
dice
moral-
you trust less.
The moral of the story is don't trust a roll 20 dice roller.
No.
Ah,
Okay, that's my nice dice. Okay, so for stealth, ooh, that's a billion. That's 18 plus 7, so 25.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
well,
And then sleight of hand. That's a 15 plus 6, so 21.
Okay, so yeah, this is a pretty slick move. In a way that people are passing by, and they have no idea that this is going on. You've just walked up, put your arm around him as if you're his best friend, and you've just placed the stiletto blade up against his throat and delivered your line. And he's like, all right, who are you? And his hands were inches away from like just ramming Glory up against the wall and grappling her there. But now you're just a bunch of friends with Glory leaning against the wall and your arm around your buddy friend here, having a nice little conversation. we're out of what is effectively combat. He knows that he's been flanked, and he knows he's just one person, and he has lost sight of what is clearly your two friends. And he's like, all right.
So,
What's going on? Am I on your turf? What's
you're
up?
not from here, are you?
Nope, just visiting. And I was just wondering why your friends were looking into my business. That's all.
Well, if you were from here, you will probably know who I am.
No idea, love.
Well,
You have a feeling this isn't the first time he's had a blade to his throat. He seems actually kind of going, oh, it's that time of day, is it? All right, fine.
we are just wondering why you are on top of a seemingly abandoned warehouse that does not belong to you.
Oh, well, it doesn't seem to belong to anybody, so we're just using it for a short while. And we'll be gone soon. So we're not going to be starting any business here. It's just a little bit of a transaction.
Have you
And
gotten
after that, we're
permission
gone.
from the? Have you gotten permission from the warehouse owner to do your business there?
No, because as far as we're concerned, nobody owns it.
Well, I'm pretty sure they are. Simon, is there a sign on the warehouse somewhere that marks it?
Yep,
for,
during your briefing, you were told
as-
that the green symbol is on every corner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you somehow miss this the symbol for Miss Green on all the corners of the warehouse?
Who's that then?
Just hear a glory snot in the corner.
Who's Miss Green, the owner then? She's like the landlady.
You clearly are not from around here if you do not know of the
I've already
infamous
said I'm not
Renata
from bleeding
Green.
round here. I've just come here to just drop off some goods. That's all I'm doing.
Renata Green is not very appreciative of people using her property without permission.
Well, we didn't make a mess. We're just holding up there, okay? As I said, we'll be gone. Just give us until tonight and you'll never see us again. How about that? God, what
I'm
kind of
afraid
landlady
that
around
won't
here has
do.
her own cutthroats, eh? God, money. But don't worry, we're just a bunch of lads, just making some semi-honest coin. So yeah, don't mind us. As I say, we just got a few parcels in there that we're going to pass on, and how about this? I can sweeten the deal, okay? Not by much. I didn't get much in terms of a cut, but he slowly gestures as he puts his hand towards his pocket, goes, weapons in the bag, puts his hands in his pocket, brings out 2 gold coins, and goes, I know it's not much, but it's enough for a round on me. Yeah, all in good business. You're the
poor dear.
You're no. You're the type to come up to a fella and put a knife to his neck. I'm the type of guy to just work in the shadows. So just go off, have a drink on me, and I promise that we will all bugger off by tonight.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
We don't really believe in that.
Yeah, I'm not even going to give you an
Sweeten
insight check. This
just
guy is
a little
bullshit.
bit more by telling us who your bosses are and where you're coming from.
Oh, come on. I'm not
After
straight
all,
off
you're
the
not
boat. Well, actually, I
from
am. But come on. I can't say who's hiring me. And also, I go through a gaffer, don't I? So I don't know who I'm working for. All I know is what to pick up, what to drop off, know that I can get in trouble for it. And so you get paid more for it. Okay? It's all right. It's all right.
Who's in charge of this operation? As in, who is in charge of this drop off and pick up today? Who is giving you your orders?
We don't know. We just look after the warehouse. I've been trying to ask you guys, do an insight check.
Insight.
8 dice to go through, so let's hope this is the one.
13 from me. Aiden, are you by us, by the way? Are you with us? I assume you're with us.
I'm not. I think I what I imagine is that I went. I follow Kora and Farewell.
Because they
Well,
they
we-
doubled
we-
around and walked
well
back
gone.
to where we are.
Yeah,
That's
so
what they were doing.
what-
I'm
yeah,
not
so
where
Aiden
you
goes
are.
up the top of the street and is looking around, and they're nowhere to be seen. And then Kora and Farewell come back round and actually come back into the side where you guys are. And Aiden's at the end going, "Where are they gone?" And they're actually behind him now.
I'm not making myself seen though.
Yeah, you're still in the crowd. You're a halfling, Kora. You can, and also
Yeah,
with your
I'm-
background, you're just in the crowd right now.
I just want to see what's happening, and then I'll tell you what I want to then do. But I'm going to let this play out.
Okay, so from your point of view, Kora, you can see your Tabaxi friend with her arm around the guy who was coming at you with some aggression. You have a feeling that they probably haven't gone all buddy-buddy on this.
No, but I want to use this time where he's distracted to go back to the warehouse, look in through the keyhole like you suggested, and pop my familiar in.
Absolutely, yeah. You kind of quickly skitter down the road, and you go up to the keyhole, and roll me a luck dice. So just roll me a d20.
Man, I picked a different dice as well. I got a 2.
Aw.
Oh no!
Those
Okay,
are my good dice.
so Kora, you go up to the keyhole, and you put your eye to the keyhole, and you see another eye.
Oops.
Oops.
Looking out of the keyhole?
Yes, you chose the exact moment when these guys who was like, "Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Oh, I'm going to go check again." He goes up, puts his eye to the keyhole, and sees your eye, and then kind of immediately goes, "Ah!"
Maybe
I'm gonna-
Kora would think of this, but you can transform yourself into the guy with your disguised self and be like, "Hey."
I can, but my eyes are probably different colors. But I am going to.
Maybe he doesn't notice.
I'm going to. Just call in, like, but in a different voice, just going, "Oh, hello."
Oh no.
What are you doing in there?
Give me a persuasion check. Actually,
This is-
deception. Deception, actually, deception.
Would she still? Does she still have the benefit of guidance, or is that gone?
That's gone. It's a single roll that she gets that on. But yeah,
Oops.
which isodecahedron are you going to roll now?
Also,
One. What am I doing? Sorry.
Simon,
What was the roll for?
Roll is deception.
Deception. Okay, that's
Simon, I was just gonna say, for the sake of
12.
convenience.
Go on, go on, Rodrigo, and then we'll do Kora as well.
For the sake of convenience, I'm gonna be with Eclipse and Glory. Is because I got a little bit lost and wasn't sure where I was, but
Okay,
I was
yeah,
just
so
gonna say that I was
happened
with
to
them all
you-
the entire time. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say
So
that.
what happened to you, Aiden, is that you went to the end of the road, then went, I can't find him, and then doubled back, and you've now gone up and joined the pleasant conversation amongst friends. So for Kora, what was your roll?
12.
12. Okay, let me just. God, they're rolling well today. This, by the way, is the so-called.
That's bad.
This is the so-called curse dice that Corinne on a Wednesday night keeps telling me I should roll something else. So so apparently this particular isodecahedron only works on Thursdays. Yeah. So the guy. Oh. No, he gets a -1. So he actually gets an 11. He goes, go away, little girl. We're working in here. Serious stuff.
Stuff.
Okay, I was just looking.
Well,
And
Yeah.
okay then.
can I poof my familiar in. But if I can I see in enough to like poof them in behind a crate or something?
Yeah, he's kind of gone back because he was kind of scared by the fact
He's
that
gone
he
away.
went to look
Yeah,
outside.
I'm staying at the keyhole so they can't see anything more than an eye.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me just rearrange the map because I'm going to go to the map.
Oh boy.
I think it's probably a good way to go about it.
Yeah, I didn't pull away at all, so they couldn't actually see who I was.
Yeah, and that was quite quick thinking as well, so I was quite pleased about that. Right, okay. So you're familiar, and let me just see if I can get you a sprite. That should be easy enough. Yeah.
Are they going to come in as a sprite rather than a cat this time?
Well, I'll have that conversation with you in a sec.
Okay. I have a name for them now. I've figured the name.
Yay!
Yay!
Goody, goody.
That's nice.
We're so good at this.
Okay.
Also, just to fill in time, I imagine I walk up to like Glory and Eclipse, and I just see how the way Eclipse is holding the guy, and I'm like, oh, so we're having a conversation now. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a total normal conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't seem to find Ellie, which is the other sprite that we use for one of the other games. So you send her inside, and you notice that as you're just about to do that, she goes, "Not as a cat. They'd see me as a cat. How about I take my true form?"
Fine.
And she willingly does it herself. Okay. And let me just go into the piece so that you can move her as well.
Oh, is there a thing that I'm... hold on.
Okay.
I think we're all waiting with bated breath of Roll20 for the picture to change.
Yeah.
I haven't changed it yet because I was manipulating the thing. So you go into a warehouse.
That's a warehouse.
Ooh.
Okay. And
D&D magic.
Damn it!
So I can move
the background
them.
isn't clear. So yes, you can move her around, and you'll be able to move your icons around, which I've made for you as well. And so yeah, you see this warehouse. There's one guy, as you can see, in the door, and let me just ping the door for you there. So there's one guy looking through the door at you, and you're kind of looking back. And she's just appeared, and with her stealth check, she very easily manages to, and I will get a better sprite. She just appears and looks around and goes, huh, and starts relaying this information back to you verbally because you can still see and hear. You haven't changed your senses yet. So she describes that there's a guy behind the door looking through you and talking to you, which you already knew. That there's a guy in the middle of the warehouse with 3 new, what seems to be traveling chests. These aren't crates. They're what you would normally have on a ship with you if you're taking some possessions with you. And that is, and there's a guy there who's just kind of getting them ready to transport because they've been given this heads up. Other than that, the warehouse is quite barren. I mean, there's a couple of serviceable crates and some pallets and a barrel. And then you can see there's like a kind of counting desk. And then there's just a kind of a place where the roustabouts can have their lunch and things like that. Maybe if you had some guards here, they'd be playing cards at this kind of old rickety table. Other than that, there's not a great deal here, but she does also relay to you that the trapdoor, if you were to use it, comes up next to some crates, and it would have been quite easy to sneak in using those crates as cover. So, yeah, you presumably, now that you've managed to get your little infiltrator in, who has just turned invisible, by the way, and she's just kind of whispering to you whilst invisible, she is now your kind of CCTV camera in here.
Yeah.
And you can walk off quite happily going, "Sorry, mister." And
yeah.
Okay, so she's quite happily in there. So you now have your little spy drone inside the facility.
And I mean, I can wander as far as I want away from her, but I can't telepathically talk to her if I'm too far away, right?
You can talk to her within 1,000 foot.
Oh,
That's
can
a
I?
lot.
Yeah, it's a long way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, because I was going to go down that little the alleyway that's I think about here, like
Yeah.
between the two. I don't know.
Mhm.
But if I don't have to,
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, I will take my eye away from the door, but like sideways, so
Mhm.
that I reveal as little of myself as possible.
Yep.
And then edge along the wall and away, so
Yeah.
that they hopefully don't see what I really look like.
So for familiar, for this particular familiar, you can speak to her within 1,000 foot telepathically.
Cool.
You can share her senses within 100 foot.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Pact of the
Okay,
Chain is
I'm
you're
edging away.
you're a specialist at using this familiar.
Yeah, I'm leaving because I don't want that other guy to come back. And yeah, I've been seen too much.
Well, he's not coming back because currently he's got a knife to his throat. He goes, "Well, what's the play then?"
Well, I think we need to go somewhere a bit more private if we're gonna keep talking.
All right. It's private but public. I'm thinking a tavern.
Just a question.
Mm-hmm.
Just before all of that happened, you asked me and Corin for insider checks.
Yeah, inside checks. Yes.
Yes.
I got a 13 on my inside check, by the way.
Yeah, I already told you he's
I got a
lying.
16.
He's lying.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's lying about a lot of this. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say I smile at him
Mm-hmm.
really wide, showing up a lot of sharp teeth, and just like, well, let's go have a long chat, shall we?
Just as long as there's no
Conversion.
funny business, all right. I'm happy for that.
Can I see Kora coming back to us?
Kora, where are you at the moment?
Muted. I'm coming back. I'm trying to sort of stay hidden from him a bit because I don't think I want to. Well, he probably knows we're all together now, but
Yeah.
all of
he
us
knows.
revealed our faces. So,
Well, I'm planning. I was gonna ask you for a quiet place where I can basically go and off him.
oh right. Well, I'm gonna kind of creep up so that I'm hopefully behind him and look at you guys and be like, what now? Like,
We're having
and I'm gonna give
having
this sort of like subtle throat fingers thing going.
Yeah, it's a case of
Basically, we need to get
where
rid
can
of
we
him
go
now
to
because
Ilkay the Ook outlay? Yeah.
Yeah. So
if
I
I
kind of
get-
turn to
can we-
Kora and be like, "Where would be a nice place to have a private conversation?"
I give a little nod and I just head off, like to be followed.
Yeah, and I still keep my knife very close to his throat, but still arm around and be like, "Come on, come this way."
So, I'm gonna lead them to that trap door that led down into that kind of wine cellar that doesn't get used anymore.
Yep,
Is
absolutely.
that private enough, or is it out in the open, or are people gonna see us going in?
The one that I described to you is just a set of
Alleyway.
stairs. It
Yeah.
was a set of stairs, and then there was like a doorway. It wasn't a place where a lot of people can congregate. But I will say that because you're not having to kind of get someone in the moment, you can quite happily just walk up to him and say, right, you're following me, and you can take him to a bolt hole that's a little further away. Okay.
Okay.
You do know of a place. It requires for you guys to kind of walk around some of the like storage areas, but what you found is there's a place where people store a lot of the goods that are meant for the nighttime, and so you know that there's just going to be like a guy there who will be guarding it, but he already knows you. This is one of your rat routes, and if you are happy to pay probably a couple of silver and say we need to have a private conversation, we'll come out carrying no more than we went in with, he'll absolutely let you through.
Okay.
But
No, I've
killing
not
him in
actually
there
figured out how much
is-
money my character has.
killing
I'm
him there
assuming they
is
have a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think I said that you all had 10 plus 2d6 gold.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I will write that
yeah,
down.
I
I've
said that
got
out in
15.
your original brief.
10 plus 2d6.
10.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
wait, 10 plus 2d6, or
Yeah.
just
You all have
Yeah.
roughly that much. Life in the city is quite harrowing. You've been working hard and actually investing hard to make sure that you guys have got where you are
All
today.
right.
So anything that you had at level 1, even though you technically should have gained money, you've all been working hard to make a name for yourself. And for 2 of you, you've been in Freetown, not being adventurers, but being Freetowners, which doesn't pay that well. But you have got a lot of connections as a result, and there's a lot of things I give you for free as a result. So, Kora, the one thing you know about this particular place is that it's got a really good sewer. If you were to kill this guy over the sewer grate, you could pretty much just pick it up, shove him down there, and they wouldn't find him for weeks.
Okay.
Okay?
Then yeah, I'm gonna head there.
Yeah.
Basically, I need to find somewhere that's quiet, where even if he shouted or whatever, we'd be all right.
Sure. Okay, so you go there. It's basically a yard. You go up to the guard. The guard's just sat there. He's just currently reading a book and eating a sandwich. And he's like, cool. Right, short stock, how's it going?
Hey, we need to have a private conversation.
Of course,
You
of
mind?
course. No, not at all. Usual contribution, for upkeep and whatever. Just go on.
Of course.
Call it 2 shinies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Right.
flick him 2 silver, if
Absolutely.
that's what he means.
Yeah. Colloquialism is a grubby is a copper, a shiny is a silver. Most people
Nice.
don't work with gold unless they're adventurers or traders or whatever. So street guys like this, he's just like, yeah, go on, a couple of shinies and it'll do.
Cool.
And he's there
Yeah,
thinking, yep, going to
I
eat
do
well
that.
tonight. And he lets you guys through. I'm just going to check your guest. Yep, he passes an intelligence check and he shuts the hell up because he thinks that you are some great organization already. He's been plucked out of the crowd, ushered into a place, and he's there like, oi, oi, and he's not saying this in front of the guy. He's just, I said just somewhere private, but like a tavern or something. I'm not going along with this. And he's struggling.
I'm gonna
My
put
knife just goes a lot, kind of just a bit tighter against the neck and goes, well.
Okay, I'm going to roll to see if he panics.
I'm gonna I'm gonna put my hands on him as well, and I'm gonna squeeze as strong as I can and go, my friend, unless you wish to meet the Raven Queen sooner than your parents, I would stop.
Okay,
That's such a raw line. Oh my god.
That's brutal. I love it.
okay. So farewell. I want you
Yes.
to roll an intimidation check. It better be good because he's about to panic and try to run. And you haven't got to the
Okey-dokey.
part where you can kill him yet.
Well, thank God I rolled well because I rolled the natural 19. So, but
Oh,
I
that's
also,
good.
but I have a -2 charisma, so that's a 17.
Okay. Right. How am I going to do this?
I am holding on to him though. I have put my hands onto him. So
Okay.
so I appreciate
Like
he
the
might still
shoulder
run, but
thingy?
I've still moved to a position where I've got hold of.
Okay, I'm going to roll to see if your inspiring intimidation keeps his sense of self-preservation. No. This guy's thick as pig shit. He takes that as a personal guarantee that you're going to kill him, and he's going to attempt to run for the gate. You guys are
I
only.
am gonna use
Well, then
blood
I
cur-
will. Oh yeah, go on, go on,
Where
go on.
are we in the public space still?
No,
No.
you're about
Yeah.
20. You're about 20 foot into this yard, which isn't enough to kill him stealthily. So at the moment, you're just a bunch
Yeah.
of people arguing in a yard. He goes to bolt, and I'm giving priority to Rodrigo, who reacted first.
I am going to use Blood Curse of Binding again, and I'm gonna amplify this time, so it's gonna be an ongoing effect, but I have to take damage first. So give me a second.
Yep.
Take more damage.
Yes, right.
And I'm going to roll a body dice.
Yeah. So it has to be a DC strength check.
Okay.
12.
No. Now this dice is going in the opposite direction, and I rolled a 4, so he fails.
Ooh.
All right. So he stops on his track. And I just pat him on the shoulder and was like, "Too late, Bucko." I just tell Farewell to grab him and keep going.
Okay.
In that case, I will. I'll pick him up, and with sort of making sure that I'm not jostling Eclipse or just marching to wherever Kora directs me to. So in effect, I'm carrying him because he now can't move or do anything in whatever direction.
Okay.
I'm gonna run to the. You said a grate in the floor or something, so I'm gonna basically run to where we need to be and guide people quickly.
Yeah, sure. So so we don't get too far away from the flavor, when Aiden did the amplified curse, the blood curse, and he put his hand on the shoulder of this guy, you notice that just a small vein in his forearm has just started trickling and bleeding a little bit. And after he delivers the line, after Aiden delivers the line, you notice that he just absentmindedly pulls out a black cloth and just wipes the blood away, and kind of then just binds it around his arm as he walks on, as if this happens every day. Yeah, and it was a little kind of, just this little of a vein just bursting, as if that just happens, right? So you pick him up, and he, as you're lifting him away, he may not be able to move, but he is allowed to scream. And he looks around. His eyes start to roll. Go on.
Essentially, because he moved, I'm gonna put my hand on top of his. Oh, my paw on top of his, basically muffling him so he doesn't scream, and say, "If you scream, you will die."
Do an intimidation check, because this isn't exactly voluntary.
Yeah. Is it with advantage or normal?
No, it's an intimidation check straight.
Cool.
We are very good at this. We are very, very, very,
very good at this.
Consummate
We're
professionals.
very
Say SRO6. That's a 9.
9.
9.
He rolled
Maybe he rolls really, really low.
he rolled a 3. He's absolutely staying quiet.
Oh, nice.
Oh dear.
Oh, wow.
He's outnumbered. He's panicking, and at this point, his eyes are really wide. You can see the whites of his eyes all the way around. They're like dinner plates, and he's just looking around frantically as if to say, "What's going to happen? What's going to happen?" Normally, he's the type of guy to talk his way out of this, but at the moment, you guys aren't really acting as if you're going to negotiate with him, and so he's kind of wondering what the hell he's going to do.
I say, calm down. Jesus. Don't say Jesus. Sorry.
It's okay.
Calm down.
You were referring to Jesus. He's the butcher down on Bramblewine Street. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's friends with Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Best meat in the city, mate. Best meat in the city.
I know a guy named Jesus, so that's funny.
Yeah. So we just want to have a chat. We're not gonna kill you, at least right away, and depending on how you act.
Let's just go. And I'm leading.
I know. I want to roll from Aiden. Sorry. I mean, I was going to say do a deception check, but when you said we're not going to kill you, well, not right now. Give me a persuasion check instead, because you were telling the truth.
Like, I'll be honest. I don't want to kill him, but I have zero charisma, so.
We don't have a choice. It's the mission.
Yeah, well, I have a problem with authority.
Probably shouldn't sign a contract with one.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's there. Kind of the well, not right now is something that he's really working on right now. But he does shut up for now. And you guys get to the grate, and
Woohoo!
Going in.
oh well, this
I'm
grate is going to be something, Kora, where you basically kill the guy and then stuff his body down the grate, and you know that this
I
grate.
see. So we're in the spot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know that this grate is a. This used to be a slaughterhouse, funnily enough, and so
Jesus.
This grate goes down about 30 foot into a cesspit, and so the next time somebody goes down there will be if it backs up. So you know that this is a place where bodies frequently go.
Okay.
I asked Glory and Eclipse. Okay, so what have you asked them so far? Or did you went straight for the knife to the throat and we're gonna kill you?
What's your name?
Yeah.
My name.
I mean, that's not necessary. Okay.
Yeah. Ask what his name is. That might be important.
I'm assuming the paw gets off his mouth, but he goes, my name.
Yes, yours.
What's your name, buddy?
Loris.
Loris.
Yeah, Loris.
Do I believe him?
Yes, you believe him. This guy's shitting himself.
Okay.
Okay,
How?
Sorry.
Hang on. No, go for it.
No, what were you gonna ask?
I was gonna ask him how many people are with him. We know about the 2 in the warehouse. How many others?
Well, it was me. It was the 2 lads in the warehouse, and then there's Saluri, who's like our kind of go-between, and then there's another lad. I can't remember his name. Michael, I think it was, and she picked him to be like her kind of bodyguard as she walks around the city.
Is she the boss? Who's in charge?
She's our boss. She knows more about the packages. And
have you ever seen her use magic?
Oh yeah. She knows magic. She's quite a learned one. That one.
Okay.
So this. Hold on. We were told more than this. We were told like possibly 5 or 7 people.
5 was the number.
There's 5 of us.
Okay, that's kind of 5.
There's 5 of us.
Yeah. Okay, it's 5.
Okay.
I asked.
So, can you now tell us why you are in Renatas' green property?
I told you the truth.
You told me nothing. You were lying, my dear. I could tell. So
about some stuff, of course I was. I was trying to get out of a bloody situation that I seem to have gone in further. But the bit that I wasn't lying about is that we're going tonight. You know, the pickup is tonight.
Simon.
All right.
I don't know. It's going to be sometime when it's dark.
I don't mean to. Sorry, I don't mean to jump in. I think for Farewell, he's getting a little bit frustrated at this, is because it's getting a bit to that, and he will just want to cut to the core of it. So he goes, "I will pray for you, and I'm going to cast Toll the Dead."
Oh shit!
Shit!
Okay.
Shit.
The question I'll ask is the knife being stuck in the neck, was that enough for him to take any damage, or are we?
No,
still
I
saying-
haven't
He
done
hasn't
any
taken
damage to
damage.
him. No.
He hasn't
Well,
taken
it's fine
damage.
because he will take damage now, but but it's whether or not it's a D8 or a D12.
Okay,
because it's a
toll the
wisdom
dead. Which check is it? What save?
Wisdom 14.
Yeah. You just watch as Farewell says, "Yeah, I'll pray for you." He makes a gesture, and you just see blackened veins just creep up the side of this guy's neck, and he's like, "Oh, help, help!" and starts to scream at the top of his lungs.
Wrong time, wrong place, buddy. And I do toll the dead as well.
Okay.
Well, he takes 6 points of damage
Absolutely.
from my Toll the Dead.
Sure. Okay.
I want to sneak attack him because we're all around him, so I get. I wanna stab him.
Don't do anything. I don't do anything.
Okay. So.
Neither do I. But before you guys started killing him, I was gonna ask him if he knew what the stuff they were smuggling were.
I was gonna ask him that
He's
too.
not dead yet.
But no, but
He's about to fucking be.
the conversation is
I
over.
don't think he'll
yeah?
answer now.
So, Kora,
Yeah.
unfortunately, he saves because I rolled a natural 19 on that. So he saves against you.
Which one? Who?
You did
Kora.
toll the dead, Kora.
I was going to, as soon as he took damage, I was going to do toll the dead. So he saves?
So he saved against your toll the dead. Yeah. Okay.
What does that mean? Does that mean he takes half damage?
He takes nothing because it's a cantrip.
Yeah, he takes no damage.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Takes
Cora.
no damage.
Yeah, no damage. If he saves, you take no damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Typically, spells that have spell slots, although not all of them. Spells that have spell slots, if they make the save, they normally take half damage. There are things like Chromatic Orb, but that's an aimed spell rather than a save spell.
It says here.
so-
Sorry, it just says the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage.
That's
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, he saved, which means he doesn't take it.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Okay.
ready. Yeah.
So the sneak attack, please, from Eclipse.
Stab. Unless his AC is a lowly 7, I miss. Or do I have advantage on the attack or no?
I'm going to say in this circumstance because he's actually restrained still. Yes.
So yes, I do.
Yeah, because this toll the dead was done with Farewell still carrying the poor bastard. Yeah, bear in mind,
Yeah.
Aiden has made it so this guy can't.
Okay,
run.
that's better.
So yeah.
That's so that's a lot better. So that's a 17 rather than a.
Yeah, that
7.
hits. Roll for damage.
Yep.
Is the grate open, by the way?
Not yet.
No, but we don't want to be throwing him down it straight away anyway.
Oh.
We'll probably want to search him and stuff.
Ooh,
maybe take his clothes.
Max damage. So
Oh Jesus!
12 plus 4 is 16 plus 3 is 19 points of stabbing damage.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, he only had 16 points left. So yeah, the veins blacken across his, coming up his neck, and you just lash out and just draw your knife across his throat, and that's it. He kind of goes from a moment of screaming. I mean, around 6 seconds. This has all been done in the one round. So he screams for all of about 2 seconds. And bear in mind, this is a noisy city, so it takes a bit of screaming to get noticed. And you just draw your knife across his throat, and he's just making these horrible, choking, spluttering sounds as Farewell kind of holds him a little further away, and he spills most of his blood into the grate.
I just
No.
go.
That didn't
I just
work
go-
quite as well as planned.
What the fuck? We haven't finished talking to him yet.
Not so loud.
He just screamed.
For that.
I think it's too late for that.
Guys,
Someone
we
is-
have to deal with more than this. They now don't have a lookout. The guys in the warehouse know there's no lookout. We're a bit fucked. We need to get on with this.
we need.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
start
we should-
searching his body.
Hmm.
Should go now.
Well,
So on his
Whilst I'm holding him basically to allow Kora to search him, and whilst I'm doing, I am actually praying for him. So
Yeah.
I am trying to convey his soul to the Raven Queen.
So you're there saying to the Raven Queen, bring him to the gates and all the rest of it. So yeah, you find on his body 2 gold pieces, 16 silver pieces. If somebody
How
would
many
like to
silver?
know,
Sorry,
16.
I'll note 2 gold. How many silver?
16. And yeah, you've
How many silver did
How
you
many?
say? Stan?
How many silver?
16.
You keep cutting out every time you say it.
Yeah, every single time.
1 6
16, 1 6.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
1 6. The
Okay.
16th number.
The
Anything
number is
else?
16, and 16 is the number. Yeah, so he hasn't got much else. He's got this really foul-smelling tobacco with some roll-up papers.
Of course.
He's got...
Yeah.
How much tobacco was he carrying?
It's a hefty-sized pouch. If it was good tobacco, it'd probably fetch about 5 or 6 silver.
But it's not.
This stuff's nasty. This is nasty stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the kind of beetly, woody smell that the 2 others were talking about is definitely prominent here. And you're just like, who the hell would smoke this stuff? Inside his work bag, you see a change of clothes. So he's got these kind of boiled leather clothes that would serve as armor. There's a strange kind of panel that goes over one of his arms that works like a shield. It reminds you of like it reminds you as players shin guards, but a shin guard that goes on his arm that he seems oddly proficient with, and that works like a shield. There's that really nasty saw type blade, and there's 4 strange kind of throwing short spears. I mean, each one no more than a foot long. It's like these giant darts, effectively. And there's 4 of those. The sword looks like it's made to rip and do as much damage as possible to people who are unarmored. It's kind of like a Reaver's blade. For those of you who have seen it, this is not the sword of a guard or a bodyguard or even an adventurer. This is a sword that is meant to terrify people. One of the things that you suspect just by looking at this now is that one of the things he was lying about is that he is just a humble smuggler. You think this guy's a Reaver.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do we
All
know
right.
what's a
Well-
reader? Sorry.
A Reaver is effectively a pirate, only more nasty. So I think the Ironborn from Game of Thrones, they go to villages and they decimate them. They kill everybody. They flay the bodies. They work off fear. He was obviously being a little more humble because he's in the city and he's out of his depth. But this is a nasty blade. This is a blade that when you run towards a villager with it, the villager just runs. They don't put up a fight. And you do also see a strange kind of paint stick that is used by Reavers as well.
stick?
Yeah, it's a like a piece,
war paint?
yeah, like war paint. Yeah, so this is like woad. It's like a wax stick that's got a dye in it, and it's got some sort of chalk dust that's in it as well. And when you place it over the skin, it makes shapes and things like that. You have a feeling that this is kind of a war paint thing. This guy isn't a labourer and he isn't a smuggler. This guy goes to seaside villages and kills people and takes everything that he can get.
All right.
What- Sorry, go on. Go
Sorry.
for it, mate.
As soon as I see the Reaver blade, I just go, oh. Okay, now I'm actually kind of glad we killed him.
Once Kora gives me the nod, I will pretty much unceremoniously dump his body into the grate.
Sure. Just
I'm gonna take the outer clothes off in
Mhm.
case we want to try and dress. I know that we can kind of disguise self, but
Yeah.
Might just take his outer outfit.
Yeah, the only
But
pieces.
I will cock an eyebrow at that, as that's a little weird.
Sorry, but
You,
we got a
Kora,
job
you
to
can
do.
harvest the waistcoat, the trousers, and the shoes. The shirt is just soaked in blood.
Yeah, no, I don't want the clothes really. It's just like I'm just gonna take these for now, dump his body, and then let's figure out the next plan because we need to get on with it like straight away.
Yeah, sure. The workers' waistcoat
okay.
is pretty good. So yeah, I've just noticed time has cracked on quite a bit. I looked over and it was 9 o'clock, and now it's 10:30. So yeah,
which is the reason why I'm just dumping the body.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, you guys have managed to get rid of one of them already. There's 2 left in the warehouse.
I feel like we should just go to the warehouse. I don't think we have time to lose. Like, they're aware now. They're aware that something's going on.
I went and I put my familiar. I have a friend. I have a spy in the warehouse right now, and there are 2 in there. Are they still in there, DM?
You ask your familiar. She goes, "No, there's 3 now and a lady."
Oh shit!
Yeah, we should probably go now.
Yeah,
No.
I tell them.
Go.
Well,
Wait.
The
Let's
lady,
head
Yeah, I
there.
think
the lady's very
It's still
angry.
daytime,
She's
right?
she's calling them some really bad names.
Okay.
Let's head to the storm drain.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
go in through that way because that's how they're going to get out. So we can
Should-
take them there.
Should 2 go in the storm drain and 2 go to the door?
If you wish.
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
guys
if it
think?
works. I want to go to
Yeah.
the storm drain.
Okay. So let's expedite
I
this.
don't think
Okay.
I can go down the storm drain without being noticed, so I'll wait by the door. Just kick it open when you need some help.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
or ditto.
Okay. So who's going down the storm drain and who's going in the front door?
I'll lead the way to the storm drain as I've kind of seen it more.
Yeah, I
maybe.
gone.
No. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say I'm going to go to the door with Glory because worst case is you never know. I might be able to give it a big enough boot and get it open.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, I think I'm gonna go through the storm drain then.
Righto. Okay. So so Aiden, Eclipse, and Kora go through the storm drain. Okay. I'm going to bring you guys to where the storm drain is. So there. Yes,
Nice.
I can control your screens. And so I will put not kneecap cat, I've put proper cat in.
Aw.
And Aiden, who I've put
Nice.
down as that for now.
That's good.
And
I like that.
and Kora. So you guys are here. The ladder is right next to you, and there's a shouting outside, "Imbeciles! Imbeciles!" And you have a feeling that they have no idea what imbeciles are. Maybe she's calling them a kind of fish or something. And she goes, "He gave a signal. Why didn't you send anybody beforehand?" It's like, well, what the hell were we supposed to do? We couldn't leave. You said that neither of us were supposed to leave, that 2 people had to stay in here at all times. He was the one supposed to come and get you if anything went wrong. And then, he kicked the door, he went off, and he never came back. Look, we got the stuff. He's probably just buggered off and he's on the run because he's just beat somebody up in a back alley or something. He'll be fine. Everything's fine. He's doing his job. We're doing our job. It's all right.
Everything's fine.
Right. And he
Oh, we're terrible people.
and suddenly you just hear this rush of flame and this yelp. Okay. So again, to expedite this, Eclipse, I assume that you're just slowly taking advantage of the noise and just pulling this bolt back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say, because you should have control over these icons, if you'd like to pick up the icons and tell me first of all which order you're going up the ladder, and then place yourself where you want to be in the.
Maybe I should go first because I think I'm less squishy than the both of you.
Yeah, if you want.
You go for it.
I mean,
Let me just.
sure, I'll go first. Guess.
How unsure you sound of it.
If you don't,
It's
like,
totally
I have
with
I
him.
a whole person. If I get up there, I can use it.
I mean, I also have the blood curse, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's use
Okay.
that as much as possible.
Cuckoo door.
Okay.
Cuckoo door.
Door.
Oh god.
I moved myself up as well.
Where am I? Oh.
Yeah. Go to door. Kick door. Ah.
Right.
Well, actually, I'll just use my mage hand to open the door because I can do that as a cunning action. So.
Okay. So first of all, you guys get up there. They are talking quite animatedly. You guys have got to be within 5 foot of that trapdoor to start whatever. I want you all to make stealth checks, please.
Yep.
Stealth
I'll give me a
checks,
second.
stealth checks.
No, you've all betrayed me.
Oh, come on, die. Please.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
Oh.
25
That
for
doesn't
me.
sound good.
22.
Okay.
9.
9?
I'm gonna guess that was a 9.
That was a 9.
Right. Okay. So this combination of stealth checks is actually quite useful for you. So all of a sudden, oh, hang on, I've got to. Yeah. Okay. All of a sudden, they hear as Aiden steps on to a floorboard. They turn and go, "Who's there?" They can't see you currently, but they do know that you're there. They only detected Aiden, and so they turn around and go, "Loris, is that you?"
Simon, you might want to move the screen because it's currently still on the boat. Just so
Oh
you know.
yeah, thank you. So they go, "Loris, are you still there? Have you returned?"
Say yes. Say yes.
Yeah.
Give me a deception check with disadvantage.
Oh god. I have +0 charisma. This should go well.
Oh god.
What other die?
Wrong, can it?
What other die should I use? This is
Whatever
important.
isn't the one you just used.
I'm gonna use that one, but because I'm rolling disadvantage, oh, there it is. I'm gonna roll 2d20s. So yeah. Oh boy. What do you mean roll 2 nat 20s? That would be hilarious. That's a 6.
Plus.
I'm gonna peek around
That's
Okay.
the
But if you think about
crates
it-
towards him and give him such a look, even if he can't see me.
But while he's
but-
doing that, Simon, I want to use my invisible mage hand to basically open the latch or open the lock for the people outside the door.
Right. Okay. So we're going to go into initiative. I think that's pretty obvious.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Sorry.
I will give you
Sorry.
for free, Corinne. I will give you for free that you look at the door, and the second you look at the door, you go, no latch. That's locked, as in properly locked.
Well, I will bring out and use my thieves' tools on it, which I can do with mage hand.
Okay.
That's another
that's
one
a
into the
cunning
dice
action.
jail.
That will be your action. That will be your action in the initiative, which is what we're rolling.
That will be
now.
my bonus action in the initiative.
Yeah. Well, either way, it will be what
Excuse
it'll be
you.
what you're doing. I think you'll find. So yeah.
Do you want me and Glory to also roll initiative as well?
Yeah, for convenience sake, I think it's time we all roll for initiative. So I'll go from the
I
top
haven't
down
used that one.
as it is on my app. So Eclipse, what did you get?
I'm just rolling it now, and that's a natural 20, so 23.
23. Glory.
Jesus.
Glory. Felicia.
Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's your initiative?
She said 17.
All
Type,
right.
type it in.
It cut
get
out
it
where I was.
We have to type stuff into Discord as well.
Kora.
Oh, 6.
Okay. Aiden.
9!
You keep rolling 9s.
And finally, Farewell.
11 for farewell.
Righto. Okay. Let me just process this. Okay. Good news is that you guys killed the initiative, so you guys are all going before the rest of them.
Even my 6. Wow.
Yeah, even your 6.
Wow.
So the
Okay, I want.
the Reaver's got a 4 and the Caster got a 2. So
Okay, I just want to make something clear.
Mhm.
I rolled a 6 3 times in a row. Two of them were 9s because my dexterity modifier is 3.
Mhm.
So that was the one for initiative and the one for stealth. But I rolled 6 3 times. I don't know what to say.
I think your dice might be slightly weighted.
It's in the dice jail now.
So
You
Eclipse.
can actually test D20s for weight. Just put it in a bowl with some salted water
Okay.
Eclipse.
and spin it a few times. You should notice if it is.
Eclipse. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. Pick the damn lock.
Yes, I will pick the lock. So, do you want me to roll for Thieves' Tools,
Yes, please.
Simon?
Yes, please.
I'm going AFK for 2 seconds.
Simon, do you want me to roll for Thieves' Tools then?
Can you guys hear me? I've said yes, please 3 times.
You keep cutting
we
out.
can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, please. Can you please roll?
Yeah. That is correct. Ooh, 17 plus 5, I believe. Yes, because I'm just proficient in it. So 17 plus 5, that is a 22.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a difficult lock. You know that it's a difficult lock, but it doesn't matter. You're that good. You just gesture with a flick of your wrist, and then as you gesture, the confidence kind of leaves your face for a second, and you kind of squint, and then you flick your wrist again, and then it goes click, and you're like, better. So both Farewell.
I'm still counted as hiding, right? From the. So if I go out and shoot at them with my bow, I'll be attacking from hiding.
Both you.
That was my bonus action.
Both you and Kora are both considered hidden right now.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah. Okay.
You are not.
So.
So I will shoot at this guy.
Okay.
And with my sneak attack of a bow, so I'm pretty sure at 20 hits, but I will roll for a natural 20. No, I rolled 15 both times. So 15 plus 5, 20.
Yeah, hits.
Hit. Cool. That is 3d6 because it's with bow. Not as good as my other thing that I rolled earlier, but 13 points of piercing damage. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, short bow piercing.
Yeah, as the guys are looking at the other end where Aiden is, you kind of nip around the back, and they don't get to see you in time. And you manage to shoot an arrow straight into the ribs of the one guy, and he kind of, as it impacts, he does kind of turn slightly and kind of. He's pushed it inside his body slightly, but it hasn't hit anything super vital. But he's looking down at the arrow as if to go, what? And you notice that these guys, all 3 of them, because I haven't really given you the scene, we've kind of gone into it, all three of these guys are dressed in the boiled leathers that I told you about before. Each one of them has got that kind of shin guard on their arm, and they've got those horrible saw-toothed blade. Standing the colourful figure that is up in the top left-hand corner is a short-haired half-elf who has this grimace of anger on her face. She's not really dressed as an academic caster. She is more dressed up as kind of a bit of a sorceress, I guess, but in kind of a skanky sorceress, nowhere near the class of your glory.
Skanky.
And
Skanky.
she's got these fire runes going on both of her arms. You can see that from here. You know, it's a fairly common fire rune, and she's got it tattooed on both of her hands. So next up is Glory. Glory, you notice that
The door is open.
Yes.
the door just goes click, and I'll allow with the flourish that you had, you kind of knock the handle as well, and it kind of opens with like an inch to spare. What do you want to do? And you can control the Glory avatar.
The glory tar, if you will.
Don't burn down the building.
There is that thing to think of. Oh, no.
Oh no.
I clicked something and I got confused. I push the door open. Is that an action or
No,
can
it's part of your movement. Part of your movement. You just shoulder barge it as you walk in.
Yeah. What do I see when I shove the door open? Do I see those guys over there?
Yep. So from where you can see three traveling chests, which seems to be the payload, and then you've got three of these salty-looking rough men with these horrible sawtooth blades, and as I say, a really angry-looking what seems to be a fire sorceress.
Right. Well then, the only thing that a reasonable sorceress can do in these
Reasonable.
Oh god. Oh no.
I want to fire a spell at them.
Go for it.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I'm a sorceress, I have like those thingamagogs I can spend my sorcery points on.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them say you can cast a single target non-self spell on 2 targets for 1 sorcery point.
So
twin spell.
Yeah, you can twin it. Yeah.
So if a spell says at a creature you can see,
Yeah.
on that one and cast it on several.
So if you
Use it on 2.
so
Go on, Simon.
So if you use the twin spell, you spend sorcery points equal to the level of the spell, and then 1 target becomes 2 targets. You cannot do more than that.
Okay, good. Then I got that one right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd like to throw use chromatic orb
Mm-hmm.
on with it twinned on those 2.
Sure.
Oh wait, no, those two,
Sure.
like because they're next to each other. That should be easier.
Sure. What
Can
energy
I
type
do
is-
that?
Yeah, you absolutely can. So you need to roll 2 separate attack rolls.
Yeah.
And which is actually better than rolling the one and seeing if it hits both. So I want you to roll 2 separate attack rolls, and I would like you to tell me what damage type as well.
2 damage roll. That's D20, and I beat my spell DC.
No, you just when it's a spell attack, you just roll, add your spell attack modifier, and then if it hits the AC, then it hits.
just my roll plus spell attack, yeah?
Yeah.
And 2 of them, it's acid damage. We got a 22 and a 16.
Absolutely, both of them hit. Roll damage twice. So give me two damage values, and I will choose which way they go.
2 damage values. Let's see here. One chromatic orb is 3d8.
So roll that.
God.
Yeah.
So roll that twice and give me the 2
Okay.
different values.
Yeah. I'll just roll 1. That's, let's see, 7, 8, and 5. That's think Felicia, 15 on the first one, and 14 on the other one.
Sure. Okay. So you see the two that's there, and you're like, one of them's got an arrow sticking in him. How lovely. You start to imagine a diamond in your hand and start to gesture your hands in 2 circles going in the same direction but kind of counterpointing each other. And this acidic chromatic orb appears, and then you just focus your will and pull it into 2, and then almost like you're letting 2 birdies fly from your hands like a Disney princess. You just flourish them into the air, and the 2 orbs go out like heat-seeking missiles to these 2 guys. The first one that's hit is this one here. Is this one here. And he's the one with the arrow sticking in him. He is still looking at Eclipse as if he's about to kill her. And the acid orb manages to get most of the way towards him before he notices that something's coming. He looks up just in time, and the acid hits him straight in the face, and the guy is dead. Right. He screams, he clutches at his face, he breathes in the acid, and with these racking coughs, he just falls to the floor and starts convulsing. The guy behind him is looking at his compatriot. I mean, this isn't like his best friend or anything, but he's there looking at him going, what the hell? And then looks up, and then the second one hits him. It hits him on the neck and the chest instead, so it doesn't quite kill him, but man, does it hurt. And he screams, and the scream is partial pain and partial anger. Okay, so that was a very productive turn. So you now only have 1 heavily damaged guy, 1 not at all damaged guy, and a very pissed off half elf that looks like she's about to burn the place down. So
who's next?
Next up on the initiative is Farewell. So
Okay.
let me bring your dude in.
Cool. Can I move my dude?
Yes, you can. If you grab hold of him, you need to turn your icon into a select, but then yes, you can move him around.
Cool. Farewell immediately bolts into the room, runs up to stand next to that. He looks at the group of them, places his hand on his holy symbol and begins to pray. And he says, "Your screams are but naught ashes in the wind." And he casts silence right here.
Are you sure I'm the Edgelord?
Please. In my defense, I never said he didn't have a flair for the dramatic.
So silence on the guy, so you're saying?
So there is a 20-foot sphere around this point here of just nothing.
Sure.
And so that's my action.
Mm-hmm.
For a bonus action, can I use a cantrip? Or not?
Unfortunately.
Well, it's the M's rules, which is I will always sort of say that it's up to him.
I'm going to go with no for now.
What did you say, Simon?
I'm going to go with no for
no.
now.
No, for now.
Because I think if to use a bonus action cantrip, the casting time on the cantrip needs to be a bonus action.
Yes, I'll accept a
so
bonus.
For you, because I was just going to say, because I know that your Spare to Dying is a bonus action cantrip for you, because you're a Grave Cleric.
Yeah, it was more about Healing Word, which is what I was going to use. Because I spied, without metagaming too much, before that Rodrigo's character took damage. So I know going into a fight from experience that you don't want to go in hurt. So I was going to ask if I could use a cantrip. Well, it's not really a cantrip, sorry. It's a bonus action spell. I got that
Bonus
wrong.
action spell.
For some reason,
Normally Simon allows stats, so if... yeah, I'm gonna let Simon speak instead of speaking for him.
That would be good. Yes. My usual ruling is that if you have a spell, because the way that the way that the player's handbook, or is it the DMG, I can't remember which, says is that you can only cast one spell per round, and it's pretty much set in that. My ruling is that if you have a spell that can be cast as a bonus action, whether it's through the sorcery points quicken spell, or that it's something like Hex or Shillelagh, or any of the things that can be cast using a bonus action, then that is in the realm of the bonus action and can be cast alongside any spell that is cast with an action. Okay, so you can do that, but what I don't allow is, for example, for you to throw a fireball and then just throw a firebolt for good measure, because it's, well, just a cantrip. Cantrips are about what you use when you either don't want to use your spell slots or if you're out of spell slots, but they are meant for the action or bonus action that it says on the tin. Okay, so the answer to that is if you have a bonus action spell, yes, you may use it.
Sorry, you cut out at the very end there. I do apologize.
In the end, if you have a bonus, you have a spell that can be cast as a bonus action, yeah.
Okay, in that case, I would then use Healing Word on Aiden, and just to give him a bit of healing.
Sure. Okay.
So that will be. Oh, you are lucky because I got a 3. So that's 3 plus. Hold on.
Oh, I'm back to max, anyways. So, yeah.
3 plus 4, so that's 7 points. You take 7.
Yep.
Cool.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, the people who benefit from it the most are the healers, because Healing Word can be done as a bonus action, so you can actually attack somebody and then do Healing Word, or you can do an attack spell or a cure wounds and also a spiritual weapon. So clerics really get the benefit from this ruling. Okay. Right, next up on the initiative is Aiden.
Hello. Let's see. To get to the sorcerer, I have to use my. Can I get to her using my full movement?
Yeah, absolutely.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I can get into melee range.
Yeah, absolutely.
With her.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah,
you wouldn't even get an attack of opportunity. You could come in this way, or you could come in and do that. Any way you want.
Yeah, I was planning going this way, like this.
Yeah. Sure.
All right, yeah. So I'll just say, okay, fuck it. I'll just run up to her. I'll unsheath my rapier, and it's stab time. It's time to stab.
Go for it.
Time.
Okay, so just let me check how much I have for attack. All right, that's a 17 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
All right, so it's gonna be wow, wow. That's just gonna be 4 points of piercing damage.
Yeah.
Did you roll a 1 on your damage?
I rolled a 1. I rolled a fucking 1 on my damage.
Okay.
So yeah, I just run up towards her. I unsheath my rapier and I go for the jump stab.
Yeah, you go up and you do get the jump stab. It's just unfortunately jump stabs are either very, very good or very, very bad. And you manage to just scratch one of her arms. So
Cool.
you watch her gesture as you hit her, and then there's this very silent scream as she realizes that she couldn't do what was going to be a retaliatory strike.
Mm.
Because, haha, fuck you, silence.
I do have my uses.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be my turn. I'm just gonna be like staring her down, rapier out.
Okay.
Just as like, without saying it, I without like saying it verbally, like just give the message of, hey, don't fucking try anything funny.
Okay. Kora, what are you doing?
Okay. Can I just confirm the squares? Are they 5 feet each?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Each square is 5 foot. Yeah.
Okay. So I am. So we've got one guy poisoned, one dead, and one alive, and the sorcerer.
Yeah. So you've got one guy. You've got one guy with severe. You've got one guy with severe acid damage. You've got one guy who's not been touched. You've got one guy dead, and you've got the half elf who has been given a flesh wound by Aiden, who is currently looking very angry.
Also, there's a silence zone going on here. So.
Yes, that's true. Okay. I'm going to move to. Can I? I'm trying to keep in cover a bit. Is that going to mean that I can still?
You're in half cover there. Actually, sorry, you're in full cover there because of your size. And so, yeah, you.
Can I still attack this guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
With a crossbow?
Yeah, you can. You can just kind of.
You can nip.
Yeah, you poke up your. You poke around the corner and fire. Yeah.
I can.
You can also hit him with your cantrips.
Yeah. So, actually, rather than the crossbow, I am going to lean around the corner and shoot Eldritch Blast at him.
Go for it.
Which is 1d10 force damage.
You got to roll to hit first.
Yeah, you have to roll to hit.
No, yeah. So let's see if I do.
Which one were you trying to hit?
Okay. I'm trying to hit this guy. This guy.
Sure.
Is it pinging?
Yeah, it is.
And I got a 14, which
hits.
I add to. Oh wait, this is Eldritch. Oh,
It already
my
hits.
spell slot, isn't it?
You have to add a spell attack modifier.
Plus
Should
5,
be like
so 14, 21. No, that's not right. I can't do maths. 19.
Okay, you hit.
Should be. Yeah.
Is that right? Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yes. So did you say 14? So what's your charisma modifier at the moment?
Spell attack is a +5 apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your charisma plus your proficiency.
Yeah.
That sounds right then.
Me.
You hit.
Cool. Excellent. Then I
You roll damage.
Roll damage. Do you have
That's too hard.
agonizing blast, the one where you add charisma modifier to your Eldritch Blast damage?
I don't think I took. No, I took Fiendish Vigor and Mask of Many Faces.
Okay,
That's fair.
that's fair.
So I rolled a 7, but I add to that, don't I? I add.
No, you just have the 7.
No, that's
Yeah,
why
just
I
7.
asked.
Sorry, just 7.
Yep. So this bolt of force just flies through the air smashing into the side of the guy who's right next to Aiden. Aiden, you just see as this kind of shimmering bolt of force. It doesn't really have much of a visual other than like a kind of heat shimmer in the air, and it just goes woof, straight past your right arm and smashes into the guy on the right-hand side of you. Of course, you've never seen Kora fight before, so you presume one of the casters has done this.
Yeah.
Okay. It's their turn. So.
Hello.
I do have a bonus action, actually.
Go for it.
I could... Oh, can I do this? Can I cast Hex? It says one bonus action casting time.
Yeah, sure. So let's because this is quite new to you. If you cast Hex before you hit him with the Eldritch Blast, you actually get an extra D6. Yeah.
Oh, I always think of bonus actions as being after, but you can cast
in
them
any
before.
order.
No, but there's no order on how you can do things in your turn. You can do like action, movement, bonus action. You can do bonus action, movement. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What do you want to do then? Like, shall I just cast it now?
Roll
for
D6.
next time?
No, it's fine because you've just got started. Roll D6. We'll say that you've cast it. Hang on. He needs to make a save, I believe.
Yeah. No, not for Hex.
No.
Hex just happens.
Hex is just on. So in that case, just roll a D6.
Okay. Ooh, a 6.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Good. When your bolt hits
and I
him,
have to choose an ability because they then have disadvantage on that ability check.
that's correct.
Yeah.
What ability?
So remember, it's checks, not saves. I always get caught on that.
Yes. So that what ability does he use?
Well,
Is that just
No,
strength?
nothing.
it doesn't affect any attacks. It's only ability checks. So, for example, if he wants to grapple you, he would use strength. If he wants to get away from a grapple, it would be dex. If he wants to dodge out the way for something or do some sort of weird wall running thing, that would be dex as well. If he wanted to climb something, that would be strength. If you wanted to figure something
I'm
out
gonna go
or
say
scrutinize
strength.
you. Yeah, okay. So
I'm gonna say
strength is a good one. Yeah. Okay. So that is you. So they are going to go now. So these two here, the two Reavers, are going to attack Aiden. So the guy who's covered in acid seems to go into a form of rage, grabs the bladed sword with both hands and swings. And you've been up against far scarier stuff than this, Aiden. As he swings this saw blade around, you just bring the rapier up. You don't even... There's not even an effort here. You know, this is clumsy, not like the dueling that you've been taught by your family. And you just bring it up lazily and deflect it. The second one is going to try and do the same thing from the other side. And... he tries exactly the same thing, and you're bored. You are so bored, Aiden. He swings this this thing down on you.
Actually,
you just turn around and you get the two of them on the same rapier.
nice. Actually, I was gonna say I'm not bored. I'm tired.
Yeah.
This is
There's a
yawning.
distinction there. Yeah.
Right. You're going to be making an opportunity attack, Aiden, because the caster, knowing full well that she's in a zone of silence, although I need to draw the circle because I just realised I did that as an aura. Bear with me.
That's fair. It's fine.
It's a 20-foot sway, I think.
Yeah,
so.
I got it. So that's rubbish. Try that again.
That's very tiny.
I am not. The
That's a
artist
very
here.
tiny silence.
Yeah, I am not the artist here.
I'd like to point out it's not the size, it's how you use it.
Okay,
Nice one.
it's moved
Yeah.
slightly.
It was low hanging fruit, and I couldn't help myself. I apologize.
It was the lowest hanging fruit there was.
Just really know. Okay.
Okay,
So yeah,
I'm gonna do that instead.
question is, does she know where to walk?
Yeah, she's just gonna run in a direction. So she runs down here, suddenly spotting Eclipse, and she is going to cast. Ooh.
Oh, give me a second. I'm gonna roll my opportunity attack.
Oh yes, that would be useful.
God fucking damn. That's an 8.
Yeah, that doesn't
A
hit.
total of 8.
You're probably unsurprised to hear. So
Yeah.
she puts her two hands together, and 3 little beads of light appear, and she is going to cast Scorching Ray at Eclipse.
Ow.
So AC 15, and
well, you're gonna roll to hit first.
Yep. So the first one is a. Let's see. Okay, so the first one is a 9, so the first one misses.
That's miss. Yep.
The second one is a 17, so that
That
hits.
will hit.
And the third one is a natural 20.
Oh no!
Ow.
Okay.
Ow!
So
Hey, we really like Eclipse, by the way.
mhm.
We will miss them.
Yes, thank you.
We will miss them.
Healer table 4. Healer table 4.
I
So
am within range for spare to die.
so take
I did check.
take 8 points of damage from Ray number 1.
Just give it
Oh,
a total
God.
amount of damage. Like,
Okay.
gonna be
Hang on then.
serious.
I'll do that now.
Oh.
Fortunately,
Oh,
I don't
that
have
makes
my
funny.
reaction yet where I can reduce the a crit.
Oh, yeah.
oh, I
into a
use
normal.
that so much in a
I
Clan
don't
of
have
Wednesday
that yet.
game. It's ridiculous. It's such a great ability.
Okay.
It is.
Eclipse, take 18 points of fire damage.
How many in total?
18.
I didn't hear you, Simon. You cut out.
18.
18.
18.
I
Are
am
you
not.
still alive?
Yes, I am very much still conscious. So
Oh, good.
I am on 6 hit points.
Oh my god. That must have hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah, so you watch as these 3 beams, as the 3 points of light just turn into these 3 very tight beams of fire, intensely hot. The first one veers away. I'll talk about that one in a minute. And the other 2 hit Eclipse. She kind of ignores the first beam and remains and focuses on the final 2, really pushing it. And you just have this horrible smell of burnt fur as she's burning the kitty. And yeah, this hurts a lot. It damages Eclipse a hell of a lot. She's looking terrible. She's looking burnt. However, the other thing about it all is that the one that went astray is causing a small amount of fire to happen. Okay, so
oops.
yeah, so let's see.
We were told not to burn the building down.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's fine. It's fine. Do not panic. I've got this sorted.
Oh yeah, Simon.
Oh, yeah, water genocide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simon, please remind. I forgot about this, but for the next time, please remind me. I picked dueling, so I should do 2 extra damage if I'm holding only a weapon in one hand. If I'm only holding one weapon, just what
Sure.
I'm doing right now.
Yeah, sure.
But I forgot about it. So
That's
yeah.
okay. I'll apply it to
Thank
her. That's fine. It's not a difficulty. So she's 2 less hit points than she was on. Okay. So top of the shop, Eclipse. Yeah.
I was
Skanky.
gonna say, Simon,
I've just burnt your fur.
Simon, I was just gonna say, because it's 10 past 11, if we should leave it as a cliffhanger here and continue.
I was going to see if there was a point that I could get to, but no, I think if everybody else agrees,
I'm happy to
we'll
keep
finish
going,
up there.
but I don't have work tomorrow like lots of people.
I don't. It's the middle of the day for me, so.
I'll I'm sick and I potentially have work tomorrow, so that's why I'm kind of.
Technically, I do.
Work.
I have work as well, and I'm about to turn into a pumpkin.
Okay. I think that's the.
Are we going to remember where we're at?
Oh, well, we
Oh,
don't.
That's the top of the initiative round, right?
Yeah,
Thankfully-
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying, because this is the top of initiative, so.
Thankfully, we
Um,
don't have to remember where we are because the app that I use tells me exactly where we are, and
Nice.
Roll20 will stay exactly like this until
You
next
could
week.
take away the random purple lines I've put above my character. by
Yeah.
mistake.
Why did you do that?
I started experimenting and then I couldn't get rid of it.
No, my sign. Does my sign stay up?
The silence has disappeared now, but I've still got a
Oh yes,
purple
because I
line
just
above
cleared
me.
my drawings at the same time, so that's okay. That's fine.
Crying.
There we go.
Tiger is
I'll,
crying.
No, it's a kitty face.
here we are.
Right, now that I
Okay.
remember what I had planned.
Oh, I've well, I'll probably wait until the stream ends to ask my question.
Yeah, let's do that part first. So, thank you for anybody who is watching. I think we've actually got one or two people.
We've
who are.
got some people in the chat 'cause I was chatting with someone.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
thank
I
you
thought
to.
that was
That's
some.
nice.
I will say hi, Roan, who is one of my closest friends, and she was the best man at my wedding, and she was.
Oh, nice.
She's been watching all night.
She has.
Oh,
Hi,
fantastic.
hi.
Hi.
Thank you for watching.
Hello.
Watching us.
I mean-
You're
Watching
probably
on
our
my-
one viewer.
Our one fan.
Our one
Very
fan.
natural ones.
We feel validated.
We've
But
got some lurkers. We've got some others there.
yeah, not all of them are bots as well, I'm sure. So that's good. If you're not a bot, say something in the chat and make us feel really happy, because then we will have doubled our audience. So
Everything does.
I think there's like. I think there's some people, like, if I'm looking at users that are not bots, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah.
That's
some
good.
are bots, but some are people, I think.
I think K10Nog is not a bot, and he's in the chat. I don't know if he's watching us, but he's in the chat at least.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He's not a bot, so.
I just opened the Twitch thing because I have it because I don't have it open when we're playing. I forget that we're streaming. Not gonna lie.
best way.
And
is the
I
best
haven't seen the rest of the chat, so I just hope it's positive.
Yeah, it's mostly
I just
me and Roan
Yeah.
talking about Monty Python, how it's Monty Python, and rolling natural ones. It's all good.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Yeah.
thanks very much,
Or-
guys.
or in my
this
case,
is
it's
shaping up
6.
to be a really good game,
Your
and
case.
instead of it being all about the combat and things like that, if anything, it took us all session to get to the combat, and the events leading up to the combat was my favorite part, actually, especially you kind of dancing around with this lookout, and then just going,
Oh,
oh,
man.
hang on, it's a bit late in the day, let's
That
cut
was
his
so
throat.
wrong.
So that was interesting.
Mhm.
So yeah, really pleased with that.
Let's just go
And,
to the docks and have a watch. Oh dear. I feel like that's happened
It's-
before in some other thing that I'm watching.
mhm.
Not gonna lie, that's probably the most D&D thing ever. Just we should do this really simple thing.
Yeah,
Oh
just
no,
go to
it
the
just
docks,
became a
just watch,
spiral
don't
of
do
the
anything.
horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah. We didn't steal a boat, so we're okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
we
mean,
did
Yeah.
very, very well to that. The only murder hoboing we did was to the people that deserved it, and
Yeah.
we didn't end up stealing a boat.
Yeah.
So I think we've done very well.
So,
We should
yeah.
pat ourselves on the back.
yes.
Next time.
the best critical role line that I've heard so far, and it doesn't spoil
Appropriately
much
psychotherapy,
because
yeah.
we've already
Okay.
talked about stealing
Okay,
boats.
Sorry.
Is Sam Riegel turning around and saying after Bo turns around and says, "Oh yeah, we killed these people," and Sam turning around in character and saying incredulously, "The most screwed up part about it is we don't know why we did it," and I'm just there like, that is D&D in a single line.
Yeah, we murdered everybody
You know-
in the room, and we have no idea why.
You know, I feel
Yeah.
I think our standards in terms of morality is just really simple. Just ask yourselves, Are we doing better than the Mighty Nine? Answer is yes. We're probably the good guys.
Yeah,
Currently,
Fire.
Eclipse just wants to get paid, so you know.
I'm starting to think that I've named the channel
I'm
very
just in it for
appropriately.
the glory.
Rowan's been doing D&D wrong all these years.
Yes,
There
I
are
think
many
you're living up
stories
to
that
chaotic
I'm
neutral.
sure we could tell of the games that Rowan and I have played in with our friends in tabletop.
Amazing.
Oh
I
well,
could
rounding
I
up.
can tell you stories of the game story, but yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Anyway, so we
Anyway,
should
I
plot this
need
in
to go.
Yeah, you
Uh,
fucking sleep.
Yeah.
Says the insomniac.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
guys, before we round off, I got this amazing suggestion from my dad earlier because we were talking D&D.
Uh-huh.
And it is for the revive pet spell we've been brainstorming.
Oh yes, go on.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just reviving the pet, it revives the pet. But the amount of HP that it heals, it hurts the owner.
Oh
wow, that's fucked.
that's brilliant. I want that.
That's fucked.
in a way, that's how it is in real life because vets fees.
Yeah,
Oh,
This
yeah,
is very
correct.
true.
Yeah.
having been a dog owner for some
Very much
years,
so.
yeah, I can absolutely agree with that. It's a case of she put her nose where, and she's got what stuck in it, and it's now been infected. Oh, this is going to be...
God.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Anyways,
much.
this was
thank
fun.
you for anybody
Yeah.
watching. Thank you
It's
for
cool.
It was
anybody
cool.
who's watching this in future as well, because this is all recorded. For some reason, Twitch has decided to record this one, so that's good. Means a lot less work for me. And
Yeah.
we will see you guys next week. And the recording of this will also be streamed tomorrow. So for everybody who's watching the stream, goodbye.
Thank you.